And welcome to New Orleans. You're watching a presentation of the American Conference on ESPN. Here inside Yulman Stadium, a champion set to be crowned in the AAC. Number 22, Tulane, highest ranked team in the group of 5, getting set to battle SMU for the first time this season. Perhaps a bid in a New Year's Six bowl game on the line today here in the Big Easy. Well, the rain has come and gone. We're just about set, ready to go for kickoff, and so much to talk about on this championship Saturday with Roddy Jones. I'm Roy Philpott. Taylor McGregor joins us on the sidelines in just 1 minute. Don't want to bury the lead. The Green Wave have been one of the top teams on the planet in each of the last 2 years. And SMU, Roddy, they're a team that can beat you in a multitude of ways.
Certainly are, and there's differing styles with the way these teams have done it. A Tulane team with a lot of familiar faces from the championship team a year ago, and they've really been built through development. And then SMU on the other side, the defense especially, rebuilt through the transfer portal. There's a lot of people that think they're the more talented team, but can they take down the defending champs?
Yeah, the Green Wave, so impressive in so many different ways. You look at the number of close games they've played this year. They've performed well, but 23-3 in their last 26. Hey, they've gotten it done for 2 straight seasons.
They certainly have. It has not been as smooth sailing as it was a year ago for Tulane, but overall, this is a team that knows how to win. A lot of senior leadership and tremendous resolve.
Michael Pratt making his 45th career start here this afternoon. He's thrown a touchdown pass in his last 26 consecutive games. He's the winningest quarterback in the history of the Tulane football program.
He's the greatest quarterback in the history of the school. It hasn't quite set in for him, but he is looking to cement his legacy with a second conference championship and a second New Year's Six bowl appearance.
Head coach for the Ponies, Rhett Lashley. It is year number 2. And he's won 17 games so far in these 2 campaigns. Offensively, defensively, they rank in the top 16 in the country in both categories.
They certainly do. One of the most complete teams in the entire country. They've always been great on offense. The defense, the big difference this year, both sides are going to have to show up if they're going to take down Tulane.
All right, so the starting quarterback for the Ponies today, Preston Stone, is out with a broken leg. The starter making his first career start under center, Kevin Jennings. He won the state championship at South Oak Cliff back in the day, and boy, the spotlight is on him right now.
It certainly is. That was a game with 40,000 plus people in Dallas Stadium, so he's accustomed to big moments. He's not a ton of experience, but he has gotten some meaningful playing time here at SMU. It's his first start here today. The big question is, how does he handle the nerves and an excellent Tulane defense on the other side?
Preston Stone is out. Taylor McGregor, Kevin Jennings is in this afternoon.
Yeah, and it all goes back to 2 years ago this very weekend. Rhett Lashley had just taken over the SMU program, and his first order of business was to check on local recruits. So he went to the Texas High School Football State Playoff, and he went to watch defensive players at Dallas Lovejoy, but it was the quarterback at South Oak Cliff, Kevin Jennings, who caught his attention. He said that day, Kevin ran like former Louisville quarterback Malik Cunningham, and he had a confidence that they needed at SMU. So the very next day, he offered Jennings a scholarship to come play at SMU, and Jennings accepted. And now, almost 2 years to the very day, Jennings is in getting his first career start, and he is out to prove to the world why Rhett Lashley knew he was the guy the very first time he watched him.
And nothing to it. Start number 1, a chance perhaps to go to a New Year's Six bowl game on the line here at Yulman Stadium. The Green Wave defense standing in the way. We've got our kickoff to the American Conference Championship coming up next.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Balvano's fight against cancer.
Great crowd on hand here this afternoon at Yulman Stadium. The American Football Championship set to take place. SMU won the coin toss, and the Mustangs elect to receive the football first. With Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor. Rain has pushed through the area, and it should be A-OK for 4 quarters here. Casey Glover will kick things away to Roderick Daniels, who drifts back deep to receive. And moments ago, Taylor McGregor with Tulane head coach Willie Fritz.
Thank you, Coach. With a team as balanced as SMU is on offense, what will be the biggest key to get the victory here today?
Oh, we just got to do a good job of stopping their effectiveness running the ball. I think they don't get enough credit for how well they run the football. I think they got 4 guys with over 300, 400 yards. And try to do our best like we've done all season and making them one-dimensional.
Thank you. Roy?
Taylor, thank you. Kevin Jennings on the field. First career start. Dallas native. And away we go in New Orleans. Jalen Knight, the running back. Play action on first down. Strip from behind. Here comes the green wave. Devin Neal. Rumbles down inside the one. Backside pressure. Advantage Tulane.
Devin Neal comes completely unblocked, and it's a quick throw, but Kevin Jennings, as he starts to come forward, it looks like, or is that ball out before? Devin Neal's able to swat it away. This will surely be looked at. But what a play by Devin Neal. Had an interception a week ago against UTSA. This is the Tulane defense that forced 5 turnovers last week against UTSA, including on the second play of the game against the Roadrunners, and they come out with an absolute statement on the first play.
Redshirt sophomore from El Paso, Texas, Devin Neal. Replay booth will take a look to see if he was able to get across the goal line before he was ruled down inside the one, which was the original ruling on the field. Our referee today, leading this all-star crew, Luke Richmond. Our replay official is Rick Jackson.
Well, once it goes to review, they're able to review all parts of the play. So they're going to review whether or not it was a fumble as well. Question is, did he get in the end zone? It looks like the knee is down prior to going in. Biggest question is there enough to overturn it either way?
One way or another, the Green Wave with a statement on play number 1 for a quarterback making his first career start. Green Wave should have the football inside the 1-yard line, first and goal.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It'll be first down Tulane.
So he does a great job, and just before Kevin Jennings starts to come forward with that football, punches it out by Devin Neal. It's a great individual effort by big number 90, and puts Tulane knocking on the doorstep and putting the ball in the end zone. Their first snap last week on offense was from inside the 10-yard line, once again, eerily similar to last week.
Forcing turnovers, 5 in fact against UTSA. Pratt goes under center, his first snap here in the AAC championship. Straight ahead and across the goal line for the Tulane touchdown. Roddy, we're not even 15 seconds in. Tulane didn't even receive the football first, and the Green Wave up by a score.
They're basically stolen a possession. I mean, essentially, you got the first possession of the first half, and you'll get the first possession of the second half. It's almost the exact start that they had last week against UTSA. And SMU has done such a good job of not turning the ball over, but Tulane off to a great start.
Valentino Ambrosio bangs home the extra point. 10 seconds in, it's 7-0 Green Wave. Well, he's the real deal. His name is Devin, and a massive play to start here in the AAC Championship affair. Deal sets up Pratt inside the one, and the Green Wave up early. You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Advantage Tulane right out of the gate, 19-1. Their last 20 games going back a season ago when scoring first. It's not like Michael Pratt needs any additional help on his ledger, his Tulane career. Casey Glover will kick it the second time in the last 15 seconds. Daniels for the one. With a cut and an empty move. Brought down short of the 20, however. Now, Kevin Jennings can beat you in a multitude of ways. The deep ball accuracy, let's start there.
Well, honestly, Roy, it's his ability to deliver under pressure that's really impressed me. His poise in the pocket and arm strength, his ability to create and scramble and throw has shown up time and time again. He's a really good athlete, so I think some of the zone read stuff could come into play here today. And honestly, they tried to get him going with a really quick and easy throw. Unfortunately, they forgot to block Devin Deal. Now it's about settling this offense down. Don't get caught up in the emotions of what just happened. Just have success, back to the game plan, and get some positive plays.
Major scholarship offers for Jennings coming out of high school. Handoff Knighton, and along the left side, he'll keep the legs turning. Brought down crossing the 25. A positive gain of 6 on first down. Grubbs and Douglas combined to make the stop.
UTSA was able to have some success with some of their counter runs against this Tulane defense.
Operating with tempo. Knighton's going to get to the edge in a hurry. Now Jalen Knighton, they call him Rooster, rushing for a first down and 8 more yards.
This is not something that SMU loves to do. They don't love running that stretch play to the field, but they know they have to do it because Tulane is so stout against what they typically like to do, which are those weak side runs. Now they go with the formation into the boundary to see how Tulane adjusts to that.
Knighton to the sidelines as he kind of limped off the field for a moment. On the pop pass, Daniels comes around the edge. And Roderick Daniels Jr. shoved out near the 40. Gain of 5 more. So here come the Ponies in an offense that can beat you on the ground or through the air, as we've talked about.
Willie Fritz mentioned it to Taylor in her interview just before kick. This is a team that does like to run the ball and is very effective doing it. This offense, one of the tops in the entire conference in both rushing and passing, obviously. That's how you lead the conference in scoring. But they like to establish the run before they take those shots, and they're really going to stretch Tulane horizontally today.
Kamar Wheaton on the field at running back, numeral 0 in white. Maryland went in motion. Jennings going to roll out, looking for a completion his first, and he finds it to Jake Bailey. So Bailey picks up 15 into plus territory and another first down.
Nice block on the edge by R.J. Maryland, but a good delivery by Kevin Jennings and an excellent call by Rhett Lashley. They sent a corner blitz from the boundary, roll to the field, get an easy completion.
Nice recovery after the fumble, the first play from scrimmage. The redshirt freshman, Oak Cliff, Texas, Kevin Jennings. This time from the 47, he'll keep it. And bottled up near the line. A 1-yard pickup, Devin Deal. Well, number 90 in green having himself quite a start.
Devin Deal wraps all the way from the boundary. I mean, he's lined up on the end of the line of scrimmage closest to SMU's sideline, comes all the way around to make this tackle. Deal has played really well the last couple of weeks, already showing up here early for the Green Wave.
Stop officially at the line. They'll fake it, and across the middle, Maryland's got it, and brought down near the 31. Another first down, another big gain of 15.
Just like sneaking R.J. Maryland just behind the linebackers, he's one-on-one with the safety Bailey Despaney right in front of D.J. Douglas on the back shoulder, but he's able to bring it in.
And you can feel Jennings and his confidence starting to elevate after the incredibly hectic start. Punish his way ahead towards the 26. Jesus Machado with a tackle and a gain of 5. As a quarterback, right, that gives you a sense that you're in the game. You complete a couple of passes, you absorb a hit there and pick up positive yards.
It certainly does, and with every completion and positive yard, his confidence will only grow.
There goes Wheaton straight ahead. And rumbling inside the 25. Keith Cooper stops him for just a gain of 2, and it's 3rd down.
And now you get in a situation where the young freshman has to deal with what Tulane's going to throw at him from a 3rd down standpoint. Can he manage the blitzes and deliver the football?
Levine in at running back, and the bruiser serves as a pass protector towards the front pylon, and the pass incomplete. Well, it was Jordan Hudson, number 8 in white, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and this is This is close to being pass interference. Jarius Monroe never really looks back for the football. His momentum is carrying Jordan Hudson out of bounds. That's one of those early on where you're not really sure which way they're going to call it. There's definitely physicality on both sides. And then the officials decide to keep the flag in their pockets.
40-yard effort coming from Colin Rogers just inside the left hash. Sails that one high in the air, and he missed it. Rogers is wide right. And the Tulane defense holds on 4th down. All smiles for Willie Fritz, and Colin Rogers now 16 of 22 on this season.
And it's a great job by the Tulane defense of bending but not breaking, forcing the miss, and Willie Fritz absolutely loves it. His team up 7.
The American Athletic Championship on ABC is brought to you by Duluth Trading. Holiday the unaverage way.
Look back at the last 2 conference championships for Tulane and SMU, the vintage SMU jerseys back in 1984, champions of the Southwest Conference that season. Of course, the Green Wave a year ago, victorious in the Cotton Bowl after winning the American Conference title game here in New Orleans. Green Wave get it back. Ronnie Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor, Michael Pratt back on the field. And the junior quarterback turns around, hands it off to the AAC Rookie of the Year, Mekhi Hughes. And straight ahead for a gain of just 2. And Michael Pratt, well, it seems like he's been here forever. It's a guy that can beat you on the ground, through the air. He's won more games than just about anybody.
Yeah, he certainly has. He said it in the open. He's the best quarterback in the history of this school. And he can do it so many different ways. Obviously, with his arm, his legs have been a big part of what they've been able to do recently. And you just look at the school records that he's been able to set.
He also gets one of his favorite targets back today, Jaquan Jackson. A quick turnaround. Alex Bauman collects the pass. He's a hero last year in the Cotton Bowl. Pick up 4 yards here. Wachovia has shoved him out of bounds, and quickly it's 3rd down.
It's going to be a huge down for Tulane. They have not been great on 3rd downs all year long, 41% overall. But the last 3 games especially, only 1 game where they're over 31% completing on 3rd downs.
Approaching 10 to play in our first quarter. 4-man front for the Mustangs. Pressure off the edge coming. Pratt off the pump fake. Buys some time and hit hard back at the 25. Kobe Wilson. And a TFL loss of 3.
The offensive line actually did a pretty good job of protecting Michael Pratt. Nelson Paul was able to get a little bit of pressure, but the pocket ends up being clean enough. But when he gets outside of the pocket, it's a great job by Kobe Wilson of seeing the quarterback and just making a decision and going to get him to force Tulane off the field.
Well, we talked with defensive coordinator Scott Simons yesterday, getting ready for this game, and that punt's going to be blocked. It was tipped at the line right when the punter let it go, and it'll be rolled dead near midfield. And it was Charles Woods who was able to sneak in the backfield.
How about SMU coming out being aggressive early on special teams? And Tulane's fortunate that that wasn't blocked more cleanly. Ends up making it past the line of scrimmage. Great job by Charles Woods going straight to the block point, getting his hand on it. Tulane fortunate that that went forward. I mean, that very easily could have been blocked towards their end zone, and SMU would have really been cooking.
Punt of 24 yards. Charles Woods, 3rd-team All-AAC. We mentioned Scott Simons. He was pretty disappointed in the number of his players that were not ruled to be all-conference. More on that in a minute. Play action with Knighton back on the field. Jennings will check it down his way, and the pass sails incomplete. T-Mac.
To prepare for his first start, I asked him, who did you lean on? And he said Preston Stone the most, who was injured last week. He said, I asked him a lot about defensive cues and guys he looks to in certain situations. But then down here on the sidelines, guys, I saw him talk a lot to backup quarterback Alex Padilla, the Tulsa transfer, or excuse me, Iowa transfer. They were conversing about things that they were saying on the field. So Jennings knows he needs his teammates in a moment like this. From midfield again.
Jennings wants to throw it, and he will. Uncorks a strike. And along the far side, Moochie Dixon racing across the 40. It's a gain of 12 and a first down.
And those conversations that Taylor was talking about with guys like Alex Badia are really valuable because Tulane has shown a bunch of different coverages already early on. And you saw in that first down play how he ended up checking it down to Jalen Knighton. The throw wasn't there, but Tulane rolled the coverage. A good decision.
Stepping up in the pocket, the pass is caught and corralled near the 10. And for now, it's a first down. Kentrell Webb laid the lumber on Daniels, and a gain of 29.
What a hit and what a catch by Roderick Daniels. Question is, did he hold on to it? Tulane was signaling that they did not think it was a completed pass.
Completed catch for a first down. The previous play is under further review.
Kentrell Webb with a big hit. It's a pretty good throw by Kevin Jennings. And from that angle, it looks like the ball may have hit the ground. But you have to have indisputable video evidence to overturn it. From the two angles that we have seen, it does not look like there's any indisputable video evidence that it hit the ball, that the ball hit the ground, and that the ground aided him in a catch. I think it's a catch, Roy. I think this will at least stand and may even be confirmed.
Two things that stood out on this play. Jennings stepping up in the pocket to deliver the goods the way in which he did. And then you look at Daniels. It felt like, to me, Roddy, the forearm was under the football as he hit the turf. I don't see anything there that would be indisputable to overturn the call on the field.
I think the bigger thing to me, too, is the ball can hit the ground. It just can't aid in you catching the football. So the fact that when he goes down to the ground, it doesn't look like the ball moves.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, SMU.
Not confirmed stands, so they couldn't determine if there was anything there, again, that was indisputable to change the call.
And honestly, a lot of the conferences are going towards the mindset that if you know it's not going to be confirmed, why continue to look at more and more angles to see if you can confirm it? Just let it stand. Let's move on. Good job by the officiating crew. Really good throw by Kevin Jennings and a great catch by Roderick Daniels.
To me, that was the hidden component of that sequence. Jennings looking like a veteran. Levine straight ahead, and he powers his way down to the 6. So a 3-yard gain on first and goal. It'll be second down from there. The tackle by Jenkins. Well, this game has had so many twists and turns already for both sides.
I think it's pretty clear that SMU is going to be able to move the football in this game. Punching the ball in the end zone is going to be huge. They have been really good in the red zone this year. Will Kevin Jennings' legs become a weapon down here?
Previous drive went 57 yards in 10 plays, and a 40-yard field goal was missed. SMU on the move again for the touchdown. Knighton crosses the goal line. And we're an extra point away from being tied in this game, living up to the billing early on.
Watch Branson Hickman in the center, one of the best centers in the entire conference. Does just an excellent job of trying to reach the nose, and when he can't do it, when he can't reach Eric Hicks, he pushes him out of the way, and it creates a massive lane for Jalen Knighton to get through. It's a great job by the guy who is second team All-American Conference, and a guy that they think is the best center in the league.
7th touchdown of the season for Knighton, all set up with a short field on the block punt. Ponies go 50 yards in just 5 plays, and we are tied at 7. Almost halfway through our first quarter.
SMU has moved the ball down the field, and after a really rocky start, the Ponies have responded.
No team in the country has scored more points in the first quarter this year than Rhett Lashley's SMU Mustangs. Tied at 7 back in New Orleans. Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor, Shedro Lewis back deep to receive this kickoff from Colin Rogers. And he'll take it out from 2 yards in. Lewis with the Jetson brought down there. Gives us a moment to check in with the studio and Kevin Nagandi, Booger McFarland. Gentlemen.
Roy, AT&T's keeping fans connected as we take a look at our multi-view, which is showcasing a bunch of great games across our network. Sun Belt Championship on ESPN, scoreless through the first quarter. Over on ESPN2, the SWAC Championship underway. Second round of the FCS Championship. You can check out those games on ESPN Plus. South Dakota State rolling, getting that win and advancing. Back to you, Roddy, as well as Taylor.
Kevin, thank you very much. Here in New Orleans, Tulane has a touchdown, but has yet to record a first down officially. Pratt steps up, avoids that initial traffic, and this is where he can be dangerous. Brought down near the 28. He'll make something out of nothing in a gain of 3, maybe 4.
SMU being aggressive on first down, sending the safety Isaiah Wacobia on the blitz. Good pickup by Tulane, who has not had a lot of success in the passing game so far. Now, it's been very limited what we've seen from this offense, but Michael Pratt has really had to run for his life when he's dropped back to pass.
Second down and 6. We mentioned Jaquan Jackson back in the fold today. He's missed the last couple of ball games. Lawrence Keys, the third, remains out for the Green Wave. Deep handoff, and Mekhi Hughes busted ahead. Across the 30, brought down to the 32 by Ahmad Walker. He missed that initial stop and a gain of 4.
It was purely low man wins between Walker and Mekhi Hughes. He's so hard to tackle, but Ahmad Walker goes low. Mekhi Hughes goes just as low and gets that positive yardage to get to a short yardage situation, which is where Tulane wants to live on these third downs.
You see Mekhi Hughes and his yards after contact this year.
Hughes has a really wide split to the right of Michael Pratt. Something's up there.
Third down and 2, and the pop pass again. Yokeith Brown. And he needed to get all the way ahead to the 34. He's not going to make it. Cale Sanders, the tackle for loss. They'll lose a yard, and it's 4th down.
So physical by the nickel, Cale Sanders taking on the block, and that nasty split by Mekhi Hughes gave away that something was going to happen to that side. And then as soon as the motion comes, you know it's going to be jet sweep. It's a great play on the edge by SMU, identifying the formation and making the tackle in the backfield.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs forced by the SMU defense. Will Carroll's going to get this one away cleanly this time. And Daniels from the 19 spun down hard and shoved out of bounds before hitting the turf. Punt of 49. And Harrison credited with that tackle. Well, coming up tonight, the ACC Championship. Number 14 Louisville, 4th-ranked Florida State, and a playoff berth perhaps at stake in Charlotte. 8 Eastern, 7 Central. You don't want to miss it. And the question is, we know there's no Jordan Travis. Will we see Tate Rodemaker or the freshman Brock Glenn for the Seminoles?
Yeah, Tate Rodemaker's dad telling SiriusXM that he was diagnosed with a concussion on Sunday, in the protocol this week. Question is, if it is Brock Glenn, can he protect the football? Nobody in America has been better at not turning the ball over than Florida State.
Washington, the big win last night in the Pac-12 championship out in Las Vegas. First down here, Kevin Jennings sidesteps one defender and shoved out of the 20 by Keith Cooper, a gain of just 2. Now, the winner of this game should have the inside track, especially if it's Tulane, into the New Year's 6, considering the Green Wave are the highest-ranked Group of 5 program, according to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee as of last Tuesday. Liberty is also ranked, and the Flames won Conference USA last night. Maryland's wide open and falling down. He'll grab the ball. That's a catch ahead of the 41 and a gain of 20.
And once again, Kevin Jennings has time to diagnose and really has 2 receivers that he can go to. Had a receiver on the boundary as well. And his hand gets hit at some point. Ball came out kind of weird, but it got there.
Kamar Wheaton, the running back. He slipped for a moment. Plants his leg in the ground, cuts ahead, and a positive gain. Taylor?
Guys, we talk so much about SMU spreading the ball around. When I was talking to Kevin Jennings this week, I asked him, do you have a favorite receiver? And he smiled and said, well, you know, I like all of them, but RJ Maryland was my roommate last year, so he's hit him early. Let's see if that continues the rest of the game here, guys.
Roddy, I'm not sure why quarterbacks and tight ends are such good friends, but they always seem to be.
know what they say, tight end is a quarterback's best friend. And then when you're his roommate, it gets even, I think you go from best friends to besties, maybe BFFs when you become roommates.
BFFs makes sense. They're going to check that last play to see what's happening with the knee and when it went down. And Wheaton was able to gain 6 on that sequence. That gives us a moment to catch our breath. What's been a wild start.
Really has. And did Kamar Wheaton's knee ever touch? Be that right knee? Yeah, I think it clearly does. So what ended up being a positive game, and I believe that happened in the backfield. So he's going to come back and be a loss. We had a lot of rain pre-game, so a little bit of a slick turf down there. Although I don't know if that caused that. It just kind of got stuck as he's trying to plant. Roy, we haven't talked.
For further review, the runner's knee was down with the ball at the 38-yard line. It'll be second down at the 38.
We haven't been able to get into the battle in the trenches very much. It's one of, if not the best defensive line in the league against the best offensive line in the league. And early on in this game, SMU's offensive line has really gotten the better of that Tulane defensive line.
Matchup to continue to watch. Instead of 2nd and 4, it's now 2nd and 13. Talked about playing the trenches. These are 2 best teams in the American this year. Off of play action, somehow the ball got out of there. It's intended for Keyshawn Smith. Devin Deal again, and this guy has wreaked havoc in this first quarter for the Green Wave.
At some point on these RPOs, SMU's got to block Devin Deal, because that almost ended up in the same deal that happened earlier in the game, where he had the strip sack and then fumble recovery. Big third down for Tulane. Do you heat Kevin Jennings up on this big third down?
Ponies need 13. Jennings steps up, fires another strike on target. Maryland's going to come up about 2 yards short, and decision time for Rhett Lashley.
Well, it's a nice job of finding R.J. Maryland and him coming back to the ball. I think this is a go. Your defense has played really well. Our analytics, ESPN analytics, supports that at 4 or less, and Rhett Lashley's got the same thing in mind. Zach Levine in the backfield, their short yardage back, 222 pounds.
Fourth and 2. Jennings retreats. Jennings going the wrong way. Throws it up and bailed out on the far sideline by Maryland. That's a first down for the Mustangs. How on earth did he complete that pass?
That was Preston Stone-esque. Scrambling around in the backfield. A great job of R.J. Maryland sitting on the sideline, leaning out of bounds, and making a great grab.
On first down, Jennings back to the air, and these two thick as thieves ahead to the 41. And a 3-yard gain, and Jennings, R.J. Maryland, developing quite the relationship early.
And Taylor just told you, former roommates, but what awareness by R.J. Maryland. And then the hands. That ball just sticks as soon as it touches the gloves. Tremendous on fourth down. You can tell anytime SMU subs, Tulane is going to take their time getting their guys off the field.
Knight in the running back. He'll get the handoff with a crease and a lot more. First down, SMU. Stop near the 30. A gain of 11. DJ Douglas with a tackle. Now 10 seconds into this first quarter, Tulane scored the first touchdown of the afternoon after the fumble forced by Devin Deal. Since then, it has been all SMU.
Full start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ben Sparks, the guilty party that time. They'll back the Ponies up 5 as he leaned back in that stance for a moment.
SMU hasn't been super clean, but they have dominated possession in this first quarter.
12 plays already in Tulane territory. There goes Knighton again and tripped up. You wonder if that wet turf has played a factor in some of the slippage we've seen these first 13 minutes or so. 3-yard gain.
Watch how slowly Tulane substitutes right now. I mean, their guys are taking their sweet time trotting on and off the field to try and give this defense a breather. They have been on the field basically this entire first quarter.
10th play of the drive coming up. You slowed down as you were talking about how slow they were coming up.
I mean, it's like you when I ask you to come out to the car.
Second down, and the pass intercepted. It's going to be picked off. Pettisclo. Cam Pettisclo, second team All-AAC. That pressure coming from Tyler Grubbs, and that was all that was needed to force the turnover.
And it's not a bad read by Kevin Jennings. The ball is a little behind his receiver, but it's a great play by Pettisclo. Feeling the route going inside and then breaking on it and being able to snag it. The throw is worse than the decision, but the play on defense is absolutely tremendous.
He stole it away from Moochie Dixon, and for Pettisclo, the second interception of the season. Jarius Monroe said this week he's the best nickel in college football. His instincts have been sensational, forcing the hand of Kevin Jennings on that occasion.
Roy, it's the first time since back in September that SMU has had 2 turnovers in a game, and it's happened in the first quarter.
Deep handoff, Mekhi Hughes weaving his way through traffic, sent backwards. Jonathan McGill, the initial hit and a gain of 4. We've seen a block punt. We've seen a strip sack fumble that was nearly returned for a touchdown. Interception thrown by quarterback making his first career start. A chance to go to a New Year's 6 bowl game on the line today. Four-man pressure for the Ponies, and Pratt under fire, and that pass somehow corralled at the 35. Yulkeith Brown bobbing and weaving his way ahead into SMU territory. It's a gain of 35 for the moment. I thought he was down when he grabbed it.
I thought he was too. The question is, how did this ball get there? I mean, it went through the hands of, it seemed like 2 SMU defenders. Yeah, he's clearly down, well down, before he gets up and runs, so the gain won't be quite as big. But 2 SMU defenders had a chance on the back end.
Expedited review. The runner's knee was down to the 34-yard line. It'll be first down Tulane at the 34.
Can we get more of that, please?
I love that.
Expedited.
100%. Great job by this AAC crew. Let's go. Music to my ears.
Tied at 7, 1st and 10. The football spotted all the way back at the 34. An expedited review is something we need more of this time of year. An expedited shipment, an expedited whatever. Faster the better. Sign us up.
You talking to Amazon? You got packages on the way or something?
Perhaps. So they'll move it back more than 15 yards after that exchange.
That is the end of the first quarter.
A very eventful first 15 minutes comes to a close. Tied at 7. We'll hear from Rhett Lashley coming up next. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Coach, some uncharacteristic turnovers. How do you get Kevin Jennings to settle in?
Kevin's playing well. You know, the 3 mistakes, first play of the game, our right tackle doesn't block out, or we got a completion. Instead, we give him 7 points. And, we miss a field goal. Then we're driving and we false start, get behind the sticks. And, he didn't make the wrong read. He just threw the ball behind him. I think Kevin's playing well. 3 more quarters. It's 0-0, basically. I like it. We'll just keep playing.
Thank you, Coach. Roy?
Taylor, thank you. Back in Yulman Stadium, Tulane with the football. And Barnes across the left side. A 2-back backfield not featuring Mekhi Hughes. Wacobia with the tackle. And a gain of 5 on first down.
And I love that we're doing these quarter interviews, because I completely agree with what Rhett Lashley said. Kevin Jennings has played fine. He made a bad throw on the interception, but the decision was the right decision. The strip sack isn't his fault. And I think Rhett Lashley, you could hear it. He likes the way that his young freshman's playing. Question is, can his defense get back to the way they were playing after giving up that last first down?
Clayton Johnson, the running back, he'll fake it to him. Pratt wants to go long, launching one deep, double coverage. Brazel unable to catch up to it, and SMU was there. Chris Megginson, Ahmad Moses in coverage. Moses had an increased role last week in the win against Navy. He's impressive with a late penalty marker coming down.
Hands to the face, offense, number 76, 15-yard penalty, and automatic first down. Number 15 can stay in the game due to his helmet coming off because of the foul.
So that was Cameron Robertson and Prince Pines going toe-to-toe.
Prince Pines is the left guard.
On the offense, will be
You're going to see the hands to the face. Ends up ripping off the helmet. Cameron Robertson, excuse me. Ends up costing Tulane, putting them way behind the sticks.
Roddy, you take away that first play from scrimmage for SMU, and this game so far, surprisingly, has been dominated by SMU. It'll be second down and a long ways to go. After the penalty, they'll set up the screen. Clayton Johnson now healthy. Stop crossing the 25. Minimal gain. It'll be third and long. Ahmad Walker, another tackle. Give him 3 on the play.
You're right, Roy. It kind of has been slanted towards SMU pretty heavily. But it's not a big surprise. This is a really talented SMU team, very complete, against a Tulane team that offensively has not been the juggernaut that we thought it could be. You would imagine on this third and long, they're going to be pretty conservative.
Just 38 total yards for Tulane so far. Pratt, pass was tipped at the line and incomplete. Elijah Roberts. And Roberts, number 5 in all white, the transfer from Miami. Broke it up.
Elijah Roberts has been tremendous for this team this year, their best pass rusher. He ends up rushing against the guard. Great hand fighting, his ability to get into the backfield. Pass Shadre Hurst, knocks the ball down and forces the punt.
Roddy, Tulane's had the football 4 times so far. Green Wave have recorded just 1 first down against this SMU defense. No fair catch for Daniels, made 1 defender miss, and another. There goes Daniels. Brought down hard at the 47, a punt of 54, a return of 29. And the tackle by Devin Deal as they're playing for the hardware. No beignets here in New Orleans. Championship on the line.
Booger and Kevin back in studio time now for our All-State Good Hands Player of the Day SEC Championship. Alabama taking its first lead over number 1 Georgia. Jalen Milroe to Jam Miller, Boog.
Very well-designed play. The tight end picked the linebacker and Jam Miller. Easy touchdown pass by Milroe.
10-7 Bama, and right now Georgia's driving. Roy, Roddy, back to you.
Kevin, thank you very much. Here in New Orleans, SMU with another outstanding start in terms of field position. Jalen Knighton fell down and slipped. He'll lose a yard. And Roddy, again, I'll point that out. It feels like that both teams at times today have struggled with simple footing on this turf.
It's mostly been SMU. I don't think we've seen Tulane guy go down because of the turf monster yet.
Second down, Jennings retreats. Late pressure coming and a great grab. Roderick Daniels staying alive and shoved forward close to a first down. Cam Pettisclo had the interception moments ago. Tackled him.
It's a great job by Roderick Daniels of hands catching the football and the strength to hold on to it. Nice job.
Daniels in motion again. Knighton gets the handoff on 3rd and short. That's a first down for the Ponies. Well, a 5-yard pickup. Douglas the tackle. SMU on the move.
Once again, Branson Hickman right in the middle with a nice block, and you can see SMU is absolutely dominated. That one play in opponent territory for Tulane came after the strip sack and was on the 1-yard line. It was a quarterback sneak on the first play of the game for them offensively, second play of the game overall.
Stone Eby is checked in, serving as a lead blocker for Knighton. Inside the 35, stopped by Hamilton, a 5-yard pickup. And now the Ponies Roddy's starting to run the football a little bit on this possession.
And they've started to run the ball the way they like to run the ball. They like those inside runs to the weak side of the field, away from the run strength. It's kind of what they base their entire run game on. Tulane's usually really good at stopping it, but SMU's had success.
Give to Knighton. Around the right side on second down. A 1-yard gain, and that's it. Third down coming up. Hamilton again involved in that tackle.
An SMU substitute, so Tulane is going to take their time getting their subs on the field as well. But I would imagine this is 4-down territory. We've already seen Rhett Lashley go for it once. This would be a long field goal. They're able to get even a little bit of positive yardage. They're going for it.
Levine, the former walk-on, back on the field. Jennings wants to throw it, and he does. That's a first down to Jake Bailey. Bailey keeps the drive alive, shoved out near the 23, and a 9-yard gain on 3rd and 3.
It's a nice job. It's a cross-dog blitz where both linebackers come and they cross their pass. Zach Levine in the backfield picks the blitz up and gives the quarterback the opportunity to deliver. Really nice job by this offensive line, and Zach Levine in the backfield of giving Kevin Jennings time.
Awkward snap. Jennings corrals it, firing towards the end zone and picked off. Jarius Monroe dove straight in front of the pass. He was trying to spot Jake Bailey, and instead Monroe records his 3rd interception of the season.
Jarius Monroe with an interception now for the Tulane Green Wave, doing a great job of falling off the inside route, getting back to the outside, flipping his hips. It's a bad decision by the freshman quarterback, and another, their 3rd turnover of the day.
Now this Tulane defense has been rock solid this year. 3 turnovers forced already. The interception by Cam Pettisclo just moments ago before Jarius Monroe ended another SMU scoring threat, Roddy. And Shieldwood dialing up the right plays at the right time. They forced, what, 8 turnovers the last 2 games?
Yeah, 5 last week against UTSA. And honestly, that was the difference in the game. SMU has been able to move the ball so well. This defense is what's kept them in.
Defensive play caller coming in, and Shieldwood also coaches the linebackers. We asked him yesterday, how do you impact a player making his first career start at quarterback? His eyes open wide. You could see the level of excitement and understanding what could be possible today.
And honestly, that last play was really the first less than stellar decision from Kevin Jennings. Ill-advised throw. The other one was just a bad throw, but the decision was the right decision. That one, I would say you go back and want it back, tuck the ball and run, but all in all, this defense is the reason that Tulane isn't down in this game.
The quick carry by Pratt out of his own end zone. Mekhi Hughes, a big crease and a shoestring tackle as he crossed the 5 by Ahmad Walker. And if that stop doesn't happen right there, Hughes is probably still running.
And getting this first down would be huge for Tulane. They've already had a punt blocked. Remember, you don't want to be punting the ball out of your own end zone. But now a 3rd and 5 for an offense that has really struggled on 3rd downs the last 3 games.
Approaching 9 to play in our second quarter. Play action for Pratt. Pocket collapsing. Pratt escapes and delivers low on the crosser to Jackson. The pressure by Elijah Roberts disrupted that play from the snap.
Elijah Roberts does a great job of pushing the right tackle, Rashad Green, into the backfield. Just power all the way back to the quarterback. Almost strips it there. It's a great job by Michael Pratt of holding on to the football and being able to save what could have been a fumble in the end zone. But watch this punt, because SMU's already gotten their hands on one.
3rd 3 and out forced by the SMU defense. Will Carroll gets it away cleanly. Roderick Daniels backs away from it, and a Green Wave bounce put the football all the way down to the 28.
And if Roderick Daniels,
65 yards.
If Roderick Daniels is aggressive there and runs up to the football, he could have saved his team 20 yards in field position.
Don't forget this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Kevin Jennings back on the field. Amazingly enough, we are still tied at 7. SMU has outgained Tulane so far 186 yards to just 43. The Ponies have turned it over 3 times. Advantage in first downs obvious. Empty backfield. The freshman signal caller drives it on the back shoulder, incomplete. Taylor.
Linebacker Tyler Grubbs talked to me a lot about the turnovers from last week and how they plan to carry it into this week. Some people think turnovers are fluky. He said, not us. We focused so much on confusing the picture pre-snap, especially for this young quarterback, not letting him get in a rhythm and not letting anything be too easy. Roddy, is there anything that stood out to you about what they've done pre-snap?
Yeah, so they've shown a bunch of different looks from a coverage standpoint, and the pre-snap look doesn't always match the post-snap coverage, and you've seen that.
Wheaton around the left side. A 2-yard gain, maybe 3. Machado with a tackle quickly. It's 3rd down, and Roddy, we should point out, on 3rd down so far today, it's gotten pretty loud here at Yulman Stadium.
It certainly has, and this is the situation where Tulane can mix up those looks pre-snap. Watch the rotation of the safeties and how many guys that are around the line of scrimmage end up coming after Kevin Jennings.
Ponies need 8. Jennings steps up on the move. Pass dropped. Brinson came back to it, and it's incomplete.
That time it was actually a really nice job of SMU of picking up the blitz, because Tulane sent 6 initially. Tyler Grubbs then dropped out to sort of be a spy. Tyler Levine once again in the backfield with a great pickup. And Romello Brinson gets hit right in the 3 with the football. Can't bring it in.
Ryan Buchevsky on the field for the first time today for SMU. Juan Jackson, dangerous punt returner, back deep to receive. The sidewinder takes an SMU bounce. Green Wave will get it there after a punt of 47. We're tied at 7 in the American Championship game.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those 3 things are going to carry on forever.
It's V Week here at ESPN, when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is a game-changing research, which helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. And remember, 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Green Wave have the football. Out of the timeout, Michael Pratt collected and brought down at the 16 by Isaiah Smith.
It's really been a mixture of things for Tulane that are both pretty disastrous. When they've had time to throw the ball, they haven't been able to get open on the back end. And when they've been able to get open, they haven't been able to protect. So I'm trying to take a shot on first down there. Now they're behind the sticks, and this is the last place that Tulane wants to be. This SMU defense has been all over them.
Green Wave with less than 40 yards of total offense. Mekhi Hughes motions out. Pratt across the middle, and the dump off to Bauman, who was tackled near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and long.
This 3rd down defense has been tremendous for SMU all game long, and really the last 8 games. Tulane 0 for 4 today, but over the last 8 games, only Texas has been as good as SMU on 3rd downs. That's how good this Mustang defense has been.
Brett Lashley figured out last offseason, we've got to get better in the secondary. We need more Power 5 talent on our roster. He hit the portal, and it's been lights out since. Four-man front, here comes the heat. Pratt stays alive for a moment, brought down, the ball comes out. The hand was moving forward for the time being. Isaiah Smith with the pressure. And bringing it back will be Elijah Chapman. And Roddy, just to the naked eye in that sequence, it felt like Pratt was able to get the football away cleanly before he was tackled.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The first down SMU. The previous play is under further review.
So it's a really good question. A bang-bang play, and we kind of saw it earlier. The call on the field is going to be huge here. Does he have firm control with the hand moving forward? That's close. That is really close. I tend to think that he did. The other question is the knee down? I don't think the knee ever touches, so that's out. Now, does he have firm control of the football with the hand moving forward? And even if the hand starts to come forward, that's a forward pass. After seeing what we saw, I think that both live and on the replays, it is close, but I think the hand was moving forward with the football, with firm control of the ball, so I think it's going to be incomplete.
I would agree. That was how we saw it when the play unfolded.
And it's not by much, but yeah, you can see his hand coming forward with the football.
It's an incomplete pass. Big fourth down, Tulane.
Green wave, avoid catastrophe. You're still looking at another 3 and out. And SMU's defense, again, we mentioned the portal. Rhett Lashley going back to his ties in South Florida at Miami, bringing in players to rush the passer, to stop the run. And just as importantly, on the back end of that secondary, they had been good in the defensive backfield in about 4 decades, according to what he told us. And lo and behold, in 2023, they have changed the course and the direction for the Ponies defensively.
This secondary has been tremendous. They only had 2 guys on the all-conference team. Probably could have had 2 more at least. Isaiah Wacobia not making all-conference is darn near a crime.
Will Carroll gets it away. A booming punt. Turns it over beautifully. Daniels has it at the 20. Waiting for the blockers. They never arrived. Brought down to the 34. And a punt of 52, a return of 13. The tackle by Shaquem Laster, and they're playing for the hardware here in the American. A championship on the line and a potential berth in a New Year's 6 bowl game. Come back with us.
Capital One halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi here with you. The very latest on the quarterback situation with Florida State. Texas impressed you. We will have highlights and reaction. And right now, Alabama just scored. They're up by 10.
Yeah, Kevin, it's 17-7. They're running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage. Milroe just threw a touchdown pass. And dare I say this, Alabama looks like the better team so far.
Okay, we will discuss. Back to you, Roy.
Kevin, Booger, thank you very much. Kirby Smart trying to beat Nick Saban in an SEC championship affair. Has not been done. We will see if that changes at some point. And the chaos that could be coming later tonight, especially if Tate Rodemaker can't start for Florida State, insert the freshman Brock Glenn. And if Florida State loses, of course, we think they would be out of the college football playoffs. So that drama yet to unfold as well.
They would be out, and the question is Alabama or Texas. If Florida State wins, the committee will have to make a decision that we've been debating for a month.
It got rather heated last night at dinner.
Yes, it did.
Discussing the possibilities, and around the country, you can only imagine what that would be like tomorrow. L.J. Johnson chopped down hard by Tyler Grubbs. No gain on the play. Quickly, it's 3rd down for the Mustangs.
There's a great reaction on the backside by Patrick Jennings for Tulane. And now, if you're Rhett Lashley, how much do you trust the freshman? He's thrown 2 interceptions, one of them on a bad throw, one of them on a bad decision. Imagine Lashley's still going to stay aggressive. If you're Tulane, I think I would drop numbers and make the freshman make a decision in the tight windows.
Crowd in it on 3rd and long. Jennings wants to run with it. Late toss. Levine has it. That's a first down for the Ponies. How about that decision in the RPO game? Little extracurricular activity. Nonetheless, a gain of 18 and a first down.
It's tremendous by Kevin Jennings because they dropped 8 players into coverage, including a spy. He just steps up in the pocket, dumps it off to his running back, Tyler Levine. And Levine had his leg grabbed. Lashley didn't like that.
Jennings again, this time operating quickly. Slides in safely. That should be enough for another first down, a gain of 10. And Jennings has a burst. That's the first time we've really seen it so far today.
They close down the now screen, so he just tucks it and runs through a gap in the offensive line. It is the first time we've really seen him be able to burst up the field. And SMU has dominated in so many different ways. Look at the number of 10-plus yard plays so far in this game.
No bigger fans watching SMU today than the Liberty Flames and head coach Jamie Chadwell, thinking that they have a chance to reach a New Year's Six bowl game if SMU beats Tulane. And a lot of football left to be played. Jennings feeling it and was tackled from behind by Jared Small. And he was holding on for dear life for a moment.
It's a great tackle by Jared Small, because if he doesn't make that tackle, there's a lot of room. We talked about SMU dominating. SMU has had the ball, felt like, for the whole first half, although the time of possession a little more even. The yardage, absolutely not. And how about the number of plays this Tulane defense has had to play? 40 so far.
Knight in the running back. Jennings drove one in, looking for his tight end. And Maryland unable to come up with it. Keith Cooper able to get a fingertip or two on it. 3rd down and 8.
All right, so last 3rd down, Tulane dropped 8. This crowd's going to get into it. It's 4-down territory for SMU. This is a situation where Tulane may think about bringing pressure.
He'll back out of the pressure look. Jennings will buy a little bit of time across the grain. Pass is caught Levine. And the ball came out late. It caroms out of bounds. SMU maintains possession. The tackle by Jarius Monroe. It's a gain of 17.
Once again, finding the check down to his running back, who leaks out of the backfield because there's no blitz. Tyler Levine falls down, makes himself available to his quarterback. A really nice delivery. And SMU fortunate that ball trickles out of bounds.
How about the arm angle, the slot on the release? Almost like a sidewinder. Complete the pass. Jennings lobs it, end zone. And incomplete. Hudson, the intended receiver. Monroe in coverage. Jarius Monroe already with 1 interception today. Voted first team All-AAC earlier this week.
I don't love, they've gone to that twice now, and I don't love that against Jarius Monroe. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. And if you're going to go at Jarius Monroe, you go at him with speed, not with size and jump balls.
.46 stops this year. He's broken up 10 passes. Monroe started his career at Nichols. A big ball of energy is what the coaching staff referred to him as late last night in our meetings. And a timeout called by Tulane.
Charge timeout, Tulane. 1st and a half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Green Wave with 2 timeouts remaining, 2:14 to go. Well, before the college football playoff teams are unveiled, kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at a special time, 9 a.m. Eastern, over on ESPN. And don't forget our Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup features Trevor Lawrence and the AFC South leading Jaguars hosting Jamar Chase and the Bengals, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ESPN, and of course, Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2.
Yes, they are. Reason Tulane called that timeout, Roy, was they got a look that was very unique. Something was up. Tulane came to the line of scrimmage and then bursted into a shift where the right tackle, number 52, Marcus Bryant, he's actually lined up at kind of a tight end, shifts out wide. When you get a guy with knee braces out wide on the line of scrimmage, you call a timeout and regroup.
6'8", 320-pounder. Bryant's been injured. Knighton will fight for what he can get. 2nd and 10 results in 3rd and ultra long. Virtually no gain on the play. The penetration with Keith Cooper.
If I were Tulane, I would cover Tyler Levine on this third down. 2 big third down receptions. R.J. Maryland has been the other go-to receiver. He's lined up at the end of the line of scrimmage to the bottom of the screen.
Ponies 5 of 8 on third down. Here comes the heat. Jennings off the back foot, slings it into the end zone, and caught for the touchdown. Keyshawn Smith. His third of the season. Jennings felt the pressure and fired a strike.
Officials timeout.
Just puts it where only his receiver can get it, and it's a beautiful catch by Keyshawn Smith on the backside, adjusting, flipping his hips, going after it, and being able to snag that ball as he falls away. Clean catch. A great job of blitz pickup once again in the backfield by SMU, and they finally get one on Jarius Monroe.
What a drive, what a pass, and what a grab, as you indicated, Roddy. SMU needed all of that to come together perfectly, and it did.
And how about the resilience of Kevin Jennings? This guy's turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, 2 interceptions. As you get a look at DJ Douglas, who is shaken up on the play. Looks like that appears as if it is in the nature of a cramp. It is very, very humid and kind of warm. Like in the 70s, as high a humidity as you can probably get without it actually raining here in New Orleans.
It rained most of the morning, and fortunately, majority of the bad weather has pushed on through. And Roddy, I know you've suffered cramps before. As a former running back at Georgia Tech, it can be ultra painful. And how about this start for underdog SMU on the road in the AAC championship, now leading 14-7.
Quickly back to the conversation about the humidity and guys cramping. All along the sideline here for Tulane, their athletic trainers have been forcing guys to take pickle shots, something that can help combat cramping in this type of weather, so they understand what is at risk here when you have a humidity at the level it is right now.
I don't know the science behind pickle juice, but I had a coach in high school that would go to the local bars around that served pickles with their hamburgers, and he would come in with jars of pickle juice constantly and do the exact same thing that the SMU trainers are doing, force guys to take pickle shots.
Not what you would expect in early December, but it is New Orleans, and there is a lot of humidity and all of the different elements. Willie Fritz back to the drawing board. How about the play of Kevin Jennings on that last scoring drive? He converts on 3 occasions, 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 8, and that touchdown coming on 3rd and 10. And now a quick word from Cheez-It.
Peace. You here for the bowl party? Where are you?
I'm in a Cheez-It bowl. Feeling the cheesiest.
Where do I sit?
In your own Cheez-It bowl, of course.
Watch the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, January 1st.
Back here in New Orleans, Roddy Jones, Roy Philpott, Taylor McGregor. SMU with its first lead at 14-7. Total yardage tells the story. First downs speaks volumes. And now Michael Pratt, what should be his final start here at Yulman Stadium. He's got some work to do.
I think if I'm Tulane, I'm being pretty conservative here.
2 timeouts to work with and 92 seconds on the clock. Pratt across the middle. Brazel wide open, and that's a first down.
Tulane opts for the opposite. The reason I thought conservatives, your offense had 1 first down before this, and if you give SMU the ball back, they're going to have a chance to score again, but a great delivery by Michael Pratt.
22 yards on that play. Pratt off the back foot. Brazel again. Knee was down, but it is far enough to move the chains again. 1 first down before this possession. 2 quick first downs on back-to-back completions to Brazel.
4th-year quarterback delivering early in this drive.
Pratt backside pressure and dropped. Isaiah Smith.
Watch the hands of Isaiah Smith, number 58, on the left side of your screen. He's going to engage with the tackle, swipe the hands down, and then be all over Michael Pratt.
Please reset the game.
That clock that the quarterback has is going to have to speed up today because SMU has created pressure constantly on the Tulane quarterback.
Well, our crew had the good fortune of seeing Oklahoma way back in week 1, and they poured on 73 points against Arkansas State that day. And we say that because the next week OU faced off with SMU in Norman. That's a one-score game in the third quarter, and the Ponies played that Sooner bunch about as well as anybody has this year. You think back to all the transfers that have come in from Power 5 schools. No surprise whatsoever that SMU is in this kind of position and a chance maybe to go to a New Year's Six bowl game.
And if I'm Rhett Lashley, you're starting to entertain the idea that you're going to get another possession in this first half. It's second down. You have 3 timeouts. If Tulane opts to be aggressive and you have an incomplete pass, you're absolutely getting the ball back with plenty of time. If they run the ball here, I wonder if Rhett Lashley will take a timeout.
3.5 sacks so far this season for Smith. The handoff, Clayton Johnson. He'll get that sack yardage back +1. Clock continues to wind down. It'll be third down. Wacobia the tackle, and let's see.
Well, they stopped the clock, and they shouldn't have, because one of the officials on the far side was waving the clock to be stopped. He thought it was a first down, so the clock did stop briefly, and it should have continued to run. Now there's all kinds of confusion, but the clock should have never stopped.
And it remains at 45 until now. It starts to wind down again. 3rd and 9. Clayton Johnson, the running back. Pratt into the flats. Bauman is tied in the safety valve. Spun down inside the 40. Meganson with the tackle. It's 4th down coming up, and no timeout called until now.
3rd and final timeout, Tulane. There'll be a full timeout.
And we mentioned the importance of this AAC championship game. Both of these teams in the conversation with a win today to reach the New Year's Six. Tulane certainly would be in the driver's seat, considering they're the highest ranked team out of the group of 5. With a win today by SMU, that could change that. Liberty finished the season undefeated. Conference USA champions, a convincing win last night against New Mexico State. But no Power 5 opponents on their schedule this year, so the strength of schedule isn't up to par when you compare it to Tulane or SMU.
And so far, the committee has valued Liberty being undefeated over SMU and what they've done this year. But imagine with a conference championship win today and a ranked win, a win over a ranked team, SMU's going to have a real shot to vault over Liberty, which would cause quite the argument amongst Group of 5 aficionados. But the only 2 losses SMU currently has are 2 Power 5 teams.
TCU and Oklahoma, 4th and 5. No field goal attempt. Analytics say you have to go for it here, and a timeout called
SMU.
By SMU.
Be a 30-second timeout.
Now Valentino Ambrosio has a long of 47. That came last week against UTSA. Willie Fritz electing to roll the dice. Well, don't forget, coming up tomorrow at noon, college football playoff selection show over on ESPN. Reese Davis and the guys will break it all down from top to bottom and present the final top 25 rankings in a 4-hour special. It all starts at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, after Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN, also on the app. After the timeout by the Mustangs, 4th down and 5 for Tulane. A big sequence coming up right now. Pratt heaves one deep, has a man breaking open, and incomplete. Boy, the ball hung in the air forever. Charles Woods was able to tap it away. Brown was open for a minute, racing across the goal line.
And Elijah Roberts was really close to the passing arm of Michael Pratt. And the way the ball hung up in the air like that, I wonder if he didn't get a piece of either the arm or the ball as it was launched. It was almost an interception. Better for SMU that it ended up being incomplete. That ball fluttering down the field, just hung up there. wouldn't be surprised if his arm was hit just a little bit by Elijah Roberts, once again getting pressure. SMU's, 16 seconds, 2 timeouts. Can you get in field goal range? Do you want to try it with a freshman quarterback? We'll see.
Jennings wants to throw it, a safe pass to Knighton. Out in the flats, and the Ponies with 2 timeouts. Knighton will be stopped at the line by Grubbs.
As we go into halftime, I think Tulane's fortunate to only be down 14-7. 3 turnovers for SMU in the first half. They're only up 7.
Green Wave will receive the football to start our second half, and the Ponies undefeated this year when possessing that first half advantage. Green Wave are also unbeaten when trailing at the break. 14-7 our score. Capital One halftime report is coming up next, right after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Welcome back to Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
And welcome back to New Orleans. You're watching a presentation of the American Conference on ESPN. Jam-packed Yulman Stadium and a good first half of the books for the AAC title affair. Rhett Lashley's team, the touchdown advantage with Tulane set to receive the football to begin our third quarter. He's Roddy, I'm Roy. Taylor McGregor on the sidelines tonight. And Roddy, for Tulane, they've been there, they've done that. Another close contest. They've been successful in close games this year. What needs to change for the Green Wave in the second half?
They're going to have to move the football and be better on third downs. Didn't have a third down conversion in the first half. And honestly, the turnovers are the only reason that this isn't a complete blowout. 249 yards for SMU, 82 for Tulane in the first half.
Green Wave get it. Coming out is Shedro Lewis. And stopped dead in his tracks at the 20 as we check in with Taylor McGregor.
This is the largest deficit that Tulane has had in a game since last year in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. You'll remember what happened in that game. Tulane did go on to win. Willie Fritz telling me that if that needs to happen here tonight, they have got to stop the negative plays. They had 4 of those in the first half, so once more physicality on the line of scrimmage to help with that. Now, as for defensively, he says they've done a good job of limiting SMU, especially with the explosive plays, but they know those will continue to come. And Rhett Lashley said just that. He said, we will not be conservative in our play call. They're going to get ready to take some shots, guys.
Yeah, Taylor, I think aggressive is Rhett Lashley's middle name. Clayton Johnson bumped out of bounds on the screen. Ahmad Walker with the tackle, and it'll be second down for the Green Wave starting our third quarter.
SMU has been phenomenal in the second halves, but Tulane's going to have to run the ball with Mekhi Hughes in the second half. You got to find something. It's a really stout defense for SMU. Obviously came into this game 16th in the country in yards per rush. Tulane has to get Mekhi Hughes going.
Hughes on the field. Pratt fakes it his direction, and the dump off to Brown. Brown scoots ahead, and that will be enough for a first down. And Tulane just out of sync, unable to muster any kind of substantial drive, it felt like, until the very end of our second quarter.
And they're going a little more up-tempo, which is exactly what they did at the end of that second quarter, getting Michael Pratt in that no-huddle offense.
Pratt in his last start here at Yulman Stadium. Tunnel screen to Jackson, so his first official touch. 4 in green has to get involved in this game for Tulane to come back.
Yeah, it's a good start, though. I mean, quick throws, not letting the pass rush of SMU get going. It's a good block by Keith Brown up front. And you're right about Jaquan Jackson. He gives them that burst down the field and that ability to take the top off the defense.
Ironically, a former commitment to SMU before ending up at Tulane. Missed those last 3 games. That was costly. Tulane's been not a lot of its key receivers for most of this season. Backside pressure, and Pratt fortunate to hold on to the football. Nelson Paul had a full head of steam before getting home, and a loss of 3 on the sack.
And once again, they get pressure against number 69, Rashad Green. Michael Pratt, looks like that right hand is shaken up, but on the left side of your screen, a little dip inside and then right around the outside. Nelson Paul able to get the sack.
Third down. Green Wave 0 for 6 on third down tonight. They'll need 7 here. Empty backfield. Ponies bring 4. Pratt releases. Brazel incomplete. Now the coverage by Chris Meganson against Brazel, who's been his favorite target late in the year. And it's 4th down.
The tallest, longest corner for this SMU defense gets the pass breakup. We've talked about how they retooled in the portal. They went and got guys like Chris Meganson, who came over from Liberty, who started 12 games. These guys that they got have experience, and they've played like it all year.
Many of his former teammates likely watching this game, rooting for SMU. Have a chance to go to a New Year's Six bowl game. Carroll's punt sails out of bounds. And off the bounce, let's see where they spot it. At the 25, and a punt of just 39 yards. Mustangs have it when we come back. (14-7), SMU leading 22nd ranked Tulane. Let's take a look at the All-State playoff predictor. And listen, we understand right now, Washington, they're in. Michigan with a win tonight, the Big Ten Championship. The Wolverines are going to make it. Florida State will as well with a victory against Louisville. The real chaos begins with those final 3 teams. Roderick Jones, Georgia, Texas, and Bama. Especially if Alabama holds on to defeat Georgia in Atlanta tonight in the SEC title affair. Roderick Daniels scoots ahead for just a gain of 2, but that's where things could get interesting and chaos could ensue.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're going to get the Texas versus Alabama debate. An Alabama team that would have a win over #1 Georgia if they're able to hold on, but lost to Texas at home by double digits.
Straight ahead goes Wheaton. That loss coming almost 2.5 months ago. I ask you, does that matter to the selection committee?
It does, absolutely. It has to. Head-to-head is part of their charge. This 3rd down matters as well, and Kevin Jennings has been phenomenal on 3rd downs today. Coming into this game, Roy, he was 13 of 14 in his career on 3rd downs, and that success has continued here today. He's been able to create with his legs and then dump the ball off. Tyler Levine's been a big weapon on the checkdowns.
First start for the freshman from Dallas, across the middle. R.J. Maryland, and incomplete. Broken up by Pettisclo. Ken Pettisclo, all-conference performer, has made play after play in this Tulane defense this season. Another one there.
He just sat on the route, expected with the blitz that they were going to have one more rusher than SMU could block, so the ball would come out quick, breaks on the football, gets around the big tight end, and gets the incompletion.
Jaquan Jackson waiting to receive this punt from Ryan Buchevsky. And under duress. Fair catch called for by Jackson. Unable to catch the punt cleanly. And he was absolutely lit up with a penalty marker flying in. And that's going to help out the Green Wave cause. Now just the 2nd time tonight SMU has gone 3 and out.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team, number 18. The 15-yard penalty reinforced the spot of foul. First down, Tulane.
Ahmad Moses blew it up.
Yeah, it's a really late fair catch call. And I mean, Ahmad Moses isn't going to be able to do anything else in that situation because of how late that fair catch call was. It's a tough break for SMU. Fortunate for Tulane.
Michael Pratt back on the field from the 37. First time since the first drive today the Green Wave have started a possession outside their own 25. Makai Hughes a burst. Up into near the 45 and a gain of 8. Taylor?
Something to pay attention to. Michael Pratt keeps shaking out his right arm, his throwing arm, after he was sacked on his last possession. He came to the sidelines here, threw the ball the entire time that SMU was on offense. Trainers coming up to him, putting icy hot on that elbow. This is as tough of a football player as you will find. Even Rhett Lashley complimenting how tough he is, but something to pay attention to.
Yeah, the comment that we got from Scott Simons, defensive play caller, on Michael Pratt. He's really tough. A tough, bleep competitor was how it was framed to us. Makai Hughes picks up a first down. Green Wave on the move now. Their second touch of the football in our third quarter.
2 runs, 2 outside zones, and 2 seams that they've been able to take advantage of with Mekhi Hughes. That takes a lot of pressure off of Michael Pratt. It's felt like the entire production of the offense has been on the shoulders of the quarterback. A little bit of run game certainly helped that.
All-time winningest quarterback in Tulane history. He's been sacked 4 times today. Keith Brown goes in motion. Hughes stumbled for a minute on first down. And across midfield into SMU territory, a 4-yard gain.
Getting this offensive line going in the run game, I think it's going to be absolutely huge to keep SMU out of these downs where they're able to just rush Michael Pratt. Tulane's offensive line struggled in pass protection last week, and they've struggled even more this week against the great pass rushers of SMU.
2 tight ends on the field. And the Green Wave set to run just their 5th play in SMU territory in this game. Hughes had momentum. He'll carry a defender forward. And on second down, that yields 3rd and short. The stop by Robertson.
And here's where Tulane can be successful. They have yet to convert on a 3rd down. 0 for 7 so far. 3rd and about a foot, I would expect. Either going to get a run or a quarterback sneak.
Albin moves over as a fullback. Play action, and Pratt hides it beautifully. Wide open is Brown. You'll keep Brown for the touchdown. What an outstanding play call on 3rd and short.
Tulane might have been fortunate. SMU wanted the flinch by Chris Carter, a clear flinch that should have been a false start. That play should have been blown dead and back 5 yards. It's not seen by the officials. How, I don't know. But Michael Pratt with a great play action delivery down the field. And somehow Tulane is tied in this game.
Pratt goes behind the back, and now another game with a rushing and a passing touchdown for Michael Pratt, the junior from the Sunshine State, playing in his final game at Yulman Stadium. We are tied at 14 in the AAC. Season-long student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. And the student section extremely happy about that last sequence, the play fake by Pratt. But they also missed a penalty here, Roddy.
Yeah, there's a flinch by Chris Carter, which you can't miss if you're the officials. He's on the end of the line of scrimmage. It's clear. But on the backside of that, Chris Meganson falls down. I mean, he sees that Yulkeith Brown is going up the field. That's how Yulkeith Brown gets so open. So Tulane gets fortunate. It's a terrible missed call with the flinch on the end of the line of scrimmage, but takes advantage of it with the delivery by Yulkeith Brown. Great call, though, by Tulane, going hard play action on 3rd and short.
From 42 yards out, the longest play of the night, and the first 3rd down conversion by Tulane in this football game. Moochie Dixon brought down hard at the 28. Ponies take over there. Well, Michael Pratt, we mentioned it, going out to break. Rush touchdown and a passing touchdown. Michael Pratt tied with some elite company. 2 of the front runners to win the Heisman, Roddy. I think we would argue Jane Daniels is that front runner, and Bo Nix kind of leads that charge. So he's trailing now Bo Nix by 1 score in that department.
How about that? A bunch of guys that have played a lot of football in their careers. And if you want to know how good Michael Pratt's been during his, that should illustrate it perfectly. But now it's up to a redshirt freshman to arrest some of this momentum that Tulane's been able to get.
And Pratt trailing by 1 game now to Bo Nix. Jennings under duress and fires that pass out of bounds. Now the pressure coming from the cornerback, Jarius Monroe, and Jennings ate the turf that time as well.
You rarely see those corner blitzes when there's 2 receivers to the boundary side. And so I think Kevin Jennings probably let his guard down a little bit, although he's able to get away from the pressure. This Tulane defense feels a little different in this second half.
Jennings outside the tackle box. Got the football beyond the line of scrimmage. No intentional grounding. 2nd and 10. And Jennings buys some time. The pump fake. Jennings with a first down and a little bit more. Well, he tried to slide in past the 45. Instead, just kind of knelt awkwardly. It still results in a 17-yard gain.
It was almost like he didn't know how to get into the slide when he was going that fast. But a great decision to take the ball up the field.
Got down low in a hurry. Here's a crease for Knighton. Rooster off and running. Plowing his way to the 31, a gain of 23. Lance Robinson on the wrong end of that collision.
And they've missed his burst the last few weeks. Well, they really haven't missed anything because they've been rolling, but he adds a burst from the running back position that they haven't had the last few weeks when he's been banged up.
Fake it to Knighton. Now Jennings again. And a stutter step and a short gain. Jared Small with a tackle and a gain of just 1 yard on first down. SMU trying to seize momentum after Tulane's massive touchdown on 3rd and short from 42 yards out. Two teams did not meet in the regular season. Ponies have won 8 straight. Tulane has won its last 10. Its only setback coming here in New Orleans at the hands of Ole Miss in a game in which Michael Pratt did not play. 2-yard gain makes it 3rd down for SMU.
They're now going towards the student section that is as fired up as they've been all night. It's a fan base that was begging for some positivity at the end of the first half. They got some, and now they are into this thing.
Pressure. Jennings. The crosser is there. Moochie Dixon. And that's a first down for the Mustangs. There are 2 penalty markers down.
Yeah, it's going to be an illegal blindside block. There's the potential. It's with targeting as well.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Offense. Number 82. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
R.J. Maryland, that is costly.
Yeah, so the rule is that the defender has to have an opportunity to see the block coming, and Jarius Monroe just gets blindsided, and it's a high hit. It has to be with the crown of the helmet because Monroe in that situation, not a defenseless player, but I think a good call by the officials. In that situation, you'd love for R.J. Maryland to throw one of those screen blocks where he just kind of gets in the way and absorbs, or puts his back in front of him, one of the smoke blocks where you just kind of run by him.
4th penalty tonight on the Mustangs, none more costly. 3rd and 22. Jennings steps into one, fires a pass. Dixon has it. Tries to lay out the cornerback Jarius Monroe, stepping out of bounds. That's 13 yards and perhaps now a field goal coming for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's a great job to get a chunk of that back. Fortunate for SMU that they throw that block. Sort of an unforced error there. We're in a different age. It's just a great block. Now those defenders get protections. Almost a 50-yard field goal here, though.
Colin Rogers, his long on the season, 51 yards coming against Rice from just inside the right hash. And Rogers able to sneak it in. SMU back in front, 17-14 with 5:35 to go in our 3rd quarter. Now Rogers now 1 for 2 tonight. He missed from 40 earlier. And Ronnie, this kick deep into the night and finally just drifted down across the crossbar.
We got ourselves a ball game. Tulane scores, SMU answers. Back and forth here in New Orleans.
(17-14) and SMU leading Tulane. You're watching Dr. Pepper Championship Week. Green Wave ranked 22nd in the land by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee back on last Tuesday. Where could they end up after this game tonight? And racing ahead to the 25. Green Wave take over there after the return by Bohannon. Let's take a look at this week's College Football Playoff rankings brought to you by AT&T. And perhaps chaos coming with Bama leading Georgia in Atlanta right now.
It would certainly cause quite the discussion there, Roy, as I think Texas and Alabama would then jump Ohio State and Oregon. The question, and Georgia would obviously fall out of that top 4. Roy, how much do you value head-to-head?
I value head-to-head. I like head-to-head. In this circumstance, if Bama beats Georgia, it now owns the best win in college football this year.
And also a loss to who?
Texas.
There you go.
By 10 at home almost 90 days ago. I'm going to lean Bama there in that argument if that's where we get to tomorrow. Mekhi Hughes bolting across the 30, a 6-yard gain. And part of that is I don't see the SEC being left out of the playoff. The committee doesn't think like that. But you beat Georgia in the title game the way that they potentially could. That's a lot to look past.
And yet you have to look past it because they lost to the team you're comparing them against.
And Texas did look good today. I'll entertain your thoughts for a minute. And listen, Steve Sarkisian, they're going to be pounding that drum as well. You'll Keith Brown, the back shoulder fade incomplete. Charles Woods in coverage. No 3rd and 4 coming up with a penalty marker down 2.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So you've got a 3-yard buffer when the ball's thrown. Sincere Haynesworth. It's about 5, 4.5.
Taylor, what are you hearing on the offensive line?
Well, from the first half into this second half, they wanted more production out of their offensive line. And Michael Pratt went up to Sincere after they scored and said, "I love you, man." And Willie Fritz went up and said, "Good job." And I know there's been a difference.
Hughes across the left side, gains a couple. It'll be 3rd down and long, T-Mac.
Which, Roddy, can you explain what you saw from the first half to the 3rd quarter when it comes to Tulane's offensive line?
Yeah, there was a lot more of that stretch zone where every offensive lineman is trying to reach the offensive line or the defensive lineman closest to them, which creates these gaps that they were able to exploit. They kind of went away from it on this drive. This big 3rd and long, they're going to have to protect Michael Pratt.
Trailing by 3. The defending champions on the ropes at home. Crossing pattern. Bohannon grabs it. Short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th and 3. Ahmad Walker applying the pressure that time. And now 4th down. Analytics suggest to go for it on 4th and 4 or less. Willie Fritz thinking otherwise here.
Yeah, I think you're a little too far in your own territory in a 3-point game to basically give SMU a field goal attempt. But how about SMU being able to get the pressure? Ahmad Walker absolutely drilled Michael Pratt, who was slow to get up.
Carroll back on the field. Roderick Daniels to receive for the Ponies. Pratt a little banged up after that sequence. And the Mustangs have it now at their 34-yard line. Well, the 22nd annual Women's Jimmy V Classic with 3 games this year headed your way tomorrow. Top-ranked South Carolina travels to Cameron Indoor to battle the Duke Blue Devils. Fresh off a road win at Georgia, UConn, and Texas. Ohio State and the Lady Vols, 1, 3, and 5 Eastern. All headed your way tomorrow right here on ABC. And we remind you to donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Go to v.org. today.
It feels like if SMU is able to take a 2-score lead, it's going to be really tough for Tulane in this one because of their inability to move the football. This is a huge drive for the Mustangs.
Green Wave have been involved in so many close games this year. Busting through is Wheaton. And a 1st down. Just stumbled, held his balance for long enough, moved the sticks.
2 quarterbacks in this game. Kevin Jennings largely has been very good, I would say. The 2 interceptions, one of them just on a throw that got away from him, a little behind the receiver. The other one, a decision that he'd like to have back. But outside of really that one decision, he has been on top of it and been able to run the ball well, and in a lot of ways outdueled Michael Pratt.
False start against the Ponies.
False start, offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was Jordan Hudson. We should point out, too, Preston Stone did make the trip. We saw him on the field pregame in crutches after breaking his leg last Saturday in the second quarter in the win against Navy. So Kevin Jennings filling in for Stone tonight as SMU tries for its first conference championship since 1984. He's done well, even after Hudson's misstep moments ago. Wheaton motions out. Jennings steps up. We just got a calmness to him. We heard the comparison to Malik Cunningham by Rhett Lashley last night. He's got some of that in him, former Louisville quarterback, but he can throw it too.
I think the smoothness in the way he runs is where that comparison comes from. But the command that he's shown, I mean, you can tell this is a guy that's been on big stages. Mentioned in the Open that he won a state championship at South Oak Cliff High School, the first DISD state championship. Those Dallas City schools since 1958, 40,000 in AT&T Stadium. To see him win that, you can tell this stage has not flustered him.
Jennings buys a little bit of time, flips it ahead, and something out of nothing, and it could be close to another first down. Hudson with Devin Deal making the stop. He has literally been everywhere in this football game. Jennings committed to Missouri State before switching to SMU late in the process, and well, this guy has really done an incredible job tonight in career start number 1.
I mean, the calmness, just to keep his poise, stay behind line of scrimmage, and deliver short pass.
Daniels in motion. Jennings, play that looks similar to what Preston Stone went down on when he was injured a week ago. Knighton and Daniels also collided in the backfield there. That looked awkward, and it took Knighton a moment to collect himself.
I mean, he got blindsided by his own teammate. It's a mistiming of a snap by the quarterback. But how about the whirling dervish that was Kevin Jennings during the play?
Well, Knighton steps off the field. Marcus Bryant just left the playing surface a minute ago. P.J. Williams has replaced him at left tackle. He's working against Devin Deal. Jennings. And hit hard. Tyler Grubbs held nothing back, 13 in green. And Jennings will make it third down and short on the scamper.
Yeah, I think Kevin Jennings saw the Tulane defender in front of him. That was Jarius Monroe, or excuse me, DJ Douglas. Didn't necessarily account for the linebacker screaming from the inside to come hit him out of bounds.
Screaming, scorching. Time winding down in our third quarter. And SMU's going to allow the clock to run down. Holding on to a 3-point lead and on the move with 3rd and 2 headed your way to start our final 15 minutes.
That's the end of the third quarter.
17-14. That's the end of the third quarter here in New Orleans. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Coach, a quarter to play. What will it take for your team to win this game?
You know, we played a little bit better offensively. We're mixing up run and pass pretty well. You know, defensively, just giving up too many big plays at inopportune moments when we got them in long yardage type situations. I do a little bit better with our pass rush lanes and not allow the quarterback to escape and get outside the pocket.
Thank you. Roy?
Taylor, thank you. 3rd down and 2 to start our fourth quarter. Levine bottled up and sent down. He may have lost half a yard. It'll be 4th down for the Mustangs. Eric Hicks, the tackle. And the analytics, surprise, surprise, Roddy Jones say to go for it here for Rhett Lashley.
It's a great job by the Tulane defensive line. And I think you do go for it here. Your offense has been great. Your defense, for the most part, has been very, very good as well. My question is, what's the play call? How much trust do you put on Kevin Jennings?
Freshman quarterback, career start number 1. Out of the shotgun again, and the pass incomplete. Here comes a late penalty marker. Brinson, the intended receiver, defended by Lance Robinson, and as he hit the turf, he was calling for the flag.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 7. Ball replaced with a spot of foul. Automatic first down.
Close call either way here.
Yeah, that's pass interference. I mean, he gets there early. He interferes with Brinson's ability to continue for the football. It's a bang-bang play, but Lance Robinson was the first bang when he needed to be the second bang.
Third penalty called against the Green Wave tonight. The drive continues for SMU. Jalen Knighton back on the field.
There's a question, Roy.
The previous plays on the further review. See if the ball is
there may have been a tip at the line of scrimmage, and if that's the case, you're able to contact the receiver. The in-man on the line of scrimmage for Tulane gets his hand up in the air. The scoreboard does a great job of showing this replay a number of times so that the fans can sort of get into it. Tulane can see it. They're pointing at it. The ball was fluttering a little bit as it got towards the receiver. If it's tipped at the line of scrimmage, all bets are off, and Tulane's going to have a 4th down stop.
It becomes a free-for-all.
Oh, there's not enough from that angle, and that's a great shot. There's not enough there to say the ball was tipped.
Keith Cooper waved his hand as the pigskin was floating by. The trajectory never changed. The spin of the ball itself was never altered.
I mean, indisputable video evidence is what you're going to need. This is our best shot of it. And I mean, I don't think you see the ball long enough to start to establish how the ball was coming. There's a slight flutter on it. I don't think you...
Further review, the ruling on the field stands.
So I don't think there's enough there to say, or there's certainly not enough there to say that it was tipped.
Willie Fritz didn't like any part of that sequence, but from our vantage point, they got it right on the field and in the booth.
Say it's a game of inches. I would say it's a game of millimeters, and if Keith Cooper hadn't trimmed his fingernails this morning, it might have been a 4th down stop.
Instead, it's 1st and 10. The Tulane 34. Winner of this game will have the inside track to represent the group of 5 in the New Year's 6. Knighton tries to get to the edge, and he does. And the tackle was made by Pettisclo with a penalty marker down as well. Things starting to get a little chippy in our 4th quarter.
I think DJ Douglas is going to get called for
personal foul, face mask, defense, number 12. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's on the complete opposite side of the field. It's just a silly 15 yards to give up here. Romello Brinson's not doing anything. Yeah, grab the face mask, yanks it down before he runs off. It's a silly 15 yards to give up in a 3-point game with the championship on the line.
2 costly penalties, essentially back-to-back. The pass interference on 4th down, the face mask, and the personal foul just moments later. Here's Jennings, and quickly corralled. It's a race to the quarterback. Darius Hodges won that race, and a loss of 2.
And Tulane changed the picture post-snap on Kevin Jennings. DJ Douglas, the safety to the boundary, looked like he was going to come down and run support and give you a 1-high safety look, which means man-to-man on the outside with his receiver, Jordan Hudson. Then Douglas sprints back to the hash. There's 2 guys on Hudson, nowhere to go with the football.
Drive that has already spanned more than 5 minutes. Mustangs facing 2nd and long. Knighton with a stutter step and a jump cut. Sent down to the 15. And to Spaney. A 5-yard gain, and the crowd will be a factor on 3rd down.
You can just feel every 3rd down getting bigger and bigger. Tulane has an opportunity to force a field goal here on a 3rd and long. You have to keep Kevin Jennings in the pocket, not let him scramble.
And Rhett Lashley going to utilize a timeout. Walk casually down the far side to call it. And that'll be the first taken in the second half by the Mustangs.
Timeout. SMU.
Third down and 7. An enormous play when we come back to New Orleans.
The AT&T Countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship. Monday, January 8th on ESPN.
Back in New Orleans, Kevin Jennings on third down tonight has been effective, especially in the first half. He needs 7 yards here to keep the drive going for SMU. Jennings looking towards the end zone, man-to-man coverage and incomplete. Hudson, the receiver, Robinson in coverage. And now a field goal coming from Colin Rogers.
I don't love what you ended up with there with the fade ball to the end zone. They put the formation into the boundary to help force the defense to dictate whether or not it was going to be one-on-one to the field. It was. And you just end up with the jump ball with Jordan Hudson, who physically is the most talented, but the quarterback ends up throwing it out of bounds, doesn't give his receiver a chance.
Rogers 1 for 2 in the field goal department. A make from 48, a miss wide right from 40. And this attempt from 32 makes it a 6-point game. So on 4th and 7, Rogers now 2 for 3. 20-14, SMU on the road in search of its first conference championship since way back in 1984.
This team has done a tremendous job of keeping its composure throughout the ups and downs of this game. And boy, have there been some ups and some downs. But on that last drive, we saw Tulane actually be the team that committed some of the unforced errors. The pass interference, that's an effort play, but the DJ Douglas face mask was a free 15 yards. And how about this? SMU has a chance to win their first American Conference Championship in their last year in the conference, but this would sort of complete their comeback from the death penalty that they got in the 80s.
Not only that, next season in the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, to exit the American with a title would be another launching point for Rhett Lashley, who just signed a contract extension within this past week. That was announced even though pen went to paper the night before the win against Navy last Friday. So all of this on the line, not to mention Tulane's trying to go back to a New Year's Six bowl game in consecutive seasons, and a win tonight and a comeback tonight will accomplish exactly that. Lewis sent backwards near the 19. Kobe Wilson the tackle. Well, don't forget about our featured ESPN Plus AAC events coming up tomorrow. Men's college basketball. It's Texas A&M Commerce versus SMU. Back in Dallas at 3 Eastern. Wednesday at 7 Eastern for women's hoops. New Orleans takes on Tulane. Coming up December 13th, men's basketball matchup. FIU facing 13th ranked FAU at 7 Eastern. If you're an AAC fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/AAC. Pratt on the field again in his final start at Ullman.
I want to see them get back to more of those stretch runs to see if they can get some more seams.
And the penalty marker comes in.
False start. Offense. Number 5. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's wide receiver Yulkeith Brown.
Officials have been on the flinches by the receivers.
Brown caught the touchdown pass that tied it up in the third quarter. Green Wave trailed by 6. Michael Pratt only 5 incompletions tonight in 18 attempts. He's been sacked 4 times, has the 1 touchdown through the air and 1 more on the ground. Uncorks it, Mekhi Hughes. Made 1 defender miss, racing ahead. And he'll get that penalty yardage back, an 8-yard gain. Damon Moses making the stop.
Great job of making Ahmad Walker miss in the open space. It's one-on-one. You work on this drill all the time. One-on-one with the defender. Walker's foot slips out from under him. Mekhi Hughes gets them close to back on schedule.
Liberty Flames no doubt watching this game as well, and head coach Jamie Chadwell led that team to an undefeated season in a Conference USA championship. Flames rooting for chaos. Hughes tripped up at the 25. So a short gain, and it's third down.
Officials timeout for an injury.
Now third down this year for Tulane. 42% on the air. Just 1 for 9 tonight, and that one, the touchdown toss to Keith Brown from 42 yards out. Charles Woods slow to get off the field. Davis Robinson comes in to replace him. The true freshman LSU transfer.
If Tulane drops back to pass, Isaiah Smith, the defensive end to the top, has been phenomenal rushing the passer today.
3rd and 5. Pratt the pump fake, and Pratt's going to be swallowed up. Boy, the ball may have popped out late. And there's a lot of activity surrounding the quarterback that ate the turf. Roberts with the tackle. And SMU's going to force another Tulane punt.
And they had Isaiah Smith lined up with Elijah Roberts, who leads this team in tackles. And him against a guard is just a mismatch. Great job of using the power to get back to the quarterback. That ball was coming out, and a poor punt.
Carroll off the side of his foot. The punt never even reached midfield. So after the 5th sack of the game by SMU, Ponies will get it back on the plus side of the field, all the way down at the 30-yard line.
The American Athletic Championship on ABC is brought to you by Goodyear. Discover the possibilities. Goodyear, more driven.
Well, on 6 different occasions, the American Athletic Conference champion has represented the group of 5 in the New Year's Six. A couple of wins along the way. UCF against Auburn back in 2017. And how about last year? Tulane upsetting Southern Cal in the Cotton Bowl. And that 46-45 counts. And the 3 teams that figure to be in position as of now. Liberty's season came to a close last night. Undefeated Conference USA champions. Waiting to see what happens tonight between Tulane and SMU.
Liberty's 133rd strength of schedule played. There are 133 teams in the country. So I don't know how you would penalize SMU for basically playing 2 Power 5 teams.
Competitive in the games, Oklahoma and ECU. Punt is another march down. And here go up by 2 scores.
And if they're on the end zone, it's going to be really hard for Tulane with the way they've moved the ball in this game.
Knighton along the left side. Tried to run over Grubbs. He'll be tackled there. No gain on the play. Even a field goal here makes it a 2-score affair, 23-14.
I have been so impressed with this SMU offensive line today. Question was, were they going to be able to run the ball successfully? They've got 153 yards rushing. Some of that's been Kevin Jennings, but most of it has been this offensive line moving this really good Tulane front.
Roddy, they've run now 68 plays compared to just 40 for the Green Wave. And Jennings, a crafty finish there at the end, brought down at the 10. So a gain of 4. Keith Cooper, the tackle, and now it's 3rd down. And Jennings will come all the way over to the sideline to talk things over with his head coach.
This is the 1980s version of headset communication that we're still operating under, but Rhett Lashley giving his quarterback likely the play call and a couple of tips. Plenty of time on the play clock.
And Roddy had to say anything but a turnover right here, right?
If you don't like it, run, is what I'm guessing he said.
Levine, the running back. Pressure off the edge. Jennings falling down. Incomplete, and another flag on the field. Well, Moochie Dixon was open. Jennings had to throw it too quickly. And the initial indication, this flag on SMU.
It was in the direction of the quarterback hit by Jesus Machado on Kevin Jennings. From the view that I saw, it did not look like anything close to roughing the passer, so I think you may get a hold here. The question is, does Willie Fritz want to give this SMU offense another opportunity to convert?
Offense, number 59, The penalties decline. 4th down.
And I think that's a wise decision by Willie Fritz. SMU could have gotten in a situation where you're going to give them an opportunity to convert. They may throw the ball down the field. You get a pass interference, which we've seen. So you take their field goal attempt rather than backing them up a little bit further in field goal range.
Now Rogers 2 for 3 tonight. He did miss back in the first half from 40. He's connected from 48 and 32 to atone for that miss. Chip shot here from 27. And to make it a 2-score game, false start will back him up 5.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Feels like every flinch has been called other than the one on the touchdown. I'll get off of it. I'll stop.
No, it's a valid comment. Terrible missed call resulting in a Tulane touchdown. Rogers trying to make it 3 in a row. The sophomore from Prattville, Alabama. Gets underneath it and connects. 23-14, and for the first time tonight, one of these teams has a 2-score advantage. Less than 9 to go here in New Orleans, and a frantic finish coming up. And now for a look at today's Aflac trivia question back in New Orleans. So the Tulane Green Wave have 23 wins since the start of the 2022 campaign. That is 4th most among FBS teams. Roddy Jones, who are the top 3? I mean,
the first 2 are easy.
Georgia and Michigan.
I think the 3rd one is Ohio State, because the only team that beats Ohio State is Michigan. So I'm going to go those are the top 3.
You go with the Buckeyes. 9-point game here at Yulman. So let's take a look at the answer for the Aflac trivia question. Green Wave get the football back, and the answer looks like this. Georgia, Michigan, Washington. The Huskies. They won 13 games this year, undefeated at 13-0.
There you go. Well, good old Huskies.
Kalen DeBoer, big-time ball coach up there in Seattle.
Snuck one in on me there. Didn't account for the win yesterday. I guess Ohio State, having not played in the conference championship game,
that
tough
probably
to get
hurt.
to 23.
That's right.
22 wins for Ohio State.
Michael Penix impressive last night. Huskies going back to the playoff for the first time since 2016, T-Mac.
Tulane is starting to feel pressure to get something going offensively. Michael Pratt went to everyone on offense here on the sideline and says, I need you, it's time to go. Then he went specifically to Chris Brazel and said, it is your time. They were drawing routes with their fingers. Brazel hasn't been as involved in the game plan here tonight, potentially on this drive.
We shall see. Pratt was harassed again. Nelson Paul. Well, the pocket came crashing down. Green Wave with just 178 total yards, 42 coming on one play, and a big 3rd down coming up.
It's a great point by you, T-Mac. Chris Brazel, 19 targets the last 2 games, only 5 here tonight, only 1 in the second half. The issue is they can't block SMU. The 2 tackles of Tulane have struggled mightily, and Elijah Roberts, when he's been reduced down against guards, has been unblockable. He's there now.
On 3rd down, Pratt. Brazel, there he is, and that's a 1st down. Did the ball pop out? They say it did. It's incomplete. Brazel in traffic, twisting and turning. Had it for a moment. And Pratt also took another hard hit.
Look at Elijah Roberts. He's right across from number 69, but he's against one of the guards, Josh Rimitich. He puts him on his rear end. I mean, Michael Pratt's got no time to throw the football. This Tulane offense has struggled blocking, struggled protecting Michael Pratt. It's been one of the biggest factors in the game. And then Chris Brazel has his legs taken out, not able to hang on to that one.
I thought he may have had enough of the football to possess it. And a timeout will be called by the Mustangs.
Timeout. SMU. It's been 2nd of the half. 30-second timeout.
They have 1 remaining. I believe they had an extra defender on the field. And on 4th down and long, Rhett Lashley didn't like that sequence, but his team in position when we come back.
Boog and Kevin back in studio. Time now for our All-State Good Hands play of the day. SEC Championship and Alabama's offense here. Boog already up by 3. Look at Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, really good improvisational play by Milroe, especially on 3rd down to keep the drive alive.
Roydell Williams will punch it in, so the lead is now at 10 for the Tide, and then Georgia responds. Kendall Milton, it's 27-24 with under 3 minutes to go. Back to you, Roy.
Kevin Boogert, thank you very much. Here in New Orleans, the American Athletic Conference Championship, Daniels collects the punt on the fair catch. He struggled for a minute to maintain possession, but he does. So a punt of 46. So now Tulane, Roddy, needs the football back, and they've got to find a way to slow down Kevin Jennings and Rhett Lashley's offense, and they've done it at times, but they still trail by 9.
If you're SMU, you want to take the life out of this game, and quarterback run is going to be huge on this drive. So as you get deeper and deeper into this, the only thing that stops the clock are incomplete passes until we're down under 2 minutes. And the most valuable thing is the football. So Tulane's certainly going to be counting possessions and selling out to stop the run.
Green Wave with all 3 timeouts remaining. That becomes a factor. On 1st down, Wheaton tried to get to the edge, and he did not. Tyler Grubbs caught him at the line. It'll be 2nd and 10. Now Kevin Jennings, career start number 1, filling in for the injured Preston Stone. He has been effective through the air and on the ground. The 2 picks really the only sidebar to that.
Man, he has played well today. I know the 2 interceptions are there. One of them was just a throw that was slightly behind his receiver, but on the right decision. The other one is the decision that you'd like to have back. Other than that, he has been so good, especially in his first start.
It's the first question we asked Rhett Lashley yesterday about Kevin Jennings getting the start. He said, quote, "I'm excited." He's got confidence. We've seen that tonight. Levine, after a gain of 2, will make it 3rd and 8. Machado the tackle, and here we go.
Here's where Kevin Jennings has shined, especially scrambling to throw the football. He's been able to get out and run a little bit, but his ability to create time and deliver to Tyler Levine's been huge. Preston Stone there, the injured quarterback, looking him on, rooting on his teammate.
Ponies 0 for 5 on 3rd down in this second half. They still lead 23-14. Here's Jennings, quarterback run. And he'll keep it alive for a moment and then get stacked up. So a 3-and-out force by the Tulane defense, and Machado able to spy on Jennings, just a gain of 4. It'll be 4th down for SMU.
Yeah, but the bigger thing is SMU is going to drain about 2 minutes off the clock with that drive. Tulane is going to get the ball back, but their inability to create big plays is something that you feel confident in if you're Rhett Lashley. You just want your defense not to give up big plays here. Make Tulane drive the ball if they're going to get points.
It's been 40 years and a death penalty and a comeback for the ages for SMU since the last conference championship. Rhett Lashley taking his team into the ACC next season. Just signed a new contract extension. His team with a golden opportunity. Dante Fleming, the fair catch at the 22. Standing in the way is this Tulane team won the American Conference title a year ago. It's a punt of 45. The pressure has been there all night long for this SMU defense against Pratt.
And it's come from all over the place. Isaiah Smith's been phenomenal, the sophomore, getting to Michael Pratt multiple times. Elijah Roberts has also been fantastic, especially when they've gotten him on guards. But those tackles have really struggled for Tulane pretty consistently. 5 sacks on the day for Michael Pratt, who's taken an absolute beating.
Less than 6 to go. Green Wave needs some points. They need them quickly. Pressure again. And a pass caught for a 1st down by Jaquan Jackson. 2nd grab of the half. The pressure by Nelson Paul, and Pratt had just enough time that time. Green Wave have multiple 10-point comebacks this year, most recently against East Carolina on the road 2 weeks ago. Clayton Johnson stopped by Kobe Wilson after a gain of 5.
And we saw this up-tempo at the end of the first half get Tulane going, at least until they crossed midfield, having some success early on this drive as well.
Moving quickly, Pratt wants to go long. Instead, the dump off. It's dropped by Clayton Johnson. 3rd down.
But pressure by Nelson Paul. Again, against the tackle Cameron Ware there. First team all AAC. He's been no match. Really, this entire offensive line has been no match, at least from a pass blocking standpoint, for this SMU defense. And they haven't had to send pressure to be able to create. They haven't had to send blitzers to be able to create pressure. So I wouldn't expect them to here.
Nothing exotic so far tonight from Scott Simons. Mano a mano. 3rd and 5. They'll run it with Clayton Johnson, and I don't think so. Hit at the line, driven down, Ahmad Walker. It'll be 4th down, and at this point in time, Willie Fritz has to go for it.
And they do have to go for it. They're going to go with tempo, but they've got to get set as Yokeith Brown was slow to get back. Ahmad Walker comes from the left side of your screen over to the right ankle.
Cox and fires, intercepted, picked off. Wachovia. SMU takes over. He was trying to spot his tight end, Alex Bauman. Wachovia stepped right in front of the pass.
They're going straight to the sticks. Michael Pratt knows exactly where he's going with the football. Wachovia, as you said, steps in front, but he sits on the route. There's no threat of him moving. He just sits right at the 1st down marker, drives on the football, takes it out of the hands of the big tight end. And man, SMU can smell it. Their first championship since the early 80s. Now it's up to the offense to put the game away.
Wachovia pick 6 last week against Navy, his 2nd of the season. They'll pop it to Moochie Dixon here. He's going to lose a couple. Would have been a turnover on downs with an incompletion. Instead, Wachovia records his 4th pick of the season.
Sorry, Roy. That's the first turnover for Tulane. SMU 3 turnovers on the day, or this game could be even worse. Like, Tulane's defense has really kept them in this. This offense for SMU has been phenomenal. The defense for SMU, the story all season long, their improvement, and it's shown in this game.
Only losses of the season coming at TCU and at Oklahoma. 2 games that were still undecided until later in those contests. Both matchups coming back in September. And the debate will rage on between now and tomorrow. Who should be the representative from the group of 5 in the New Year's 6? Liberty and SMU, if the Ponies hold on here. The strength of schedule favors the Mustangs from Dallas. Liberty undefeated as Conference USA champions from last night. Certainly has something to say about it. And Scott Simons, a defensive play caller, well, they have been locked in so many ways in the back half of this schedule. Here's Levine. And another 1st down for the Mustangs. Ronnie, SMU starting to leave no doubts who the better team was tonight.
And they're going to end up winning this game if they're able to hold on with a -2 turnover margin when the game was in the balance. Absolutely tremendous. This talented team that Rhett Lashley overhauled defensively through the transfer portal, coming in with its backup quarterback on the road against a team in Tulane that had been in this situation before, has been incredibly mature and really, for the better part of this game, dominant.
And the Ponies doing all of this with a quarterback who's a redshirt freshman making his first career start after Preston Stone broke his leg last week in the 2nd quarter against Navy. Another timeout called. There's so many angles to attack what we've witnessed tonight with. At the end of the evening, the most important one is a conference championship on the line and a potential berth in a New Year's 6 bowl game. And you mentioned it earlier. The comeback from the death penalty going all the way back to 1984. It's been a long time coming for a team that used to be one of the best in the nation. And here's a look at the resumes. And Roddy, what stands out?
The strength of schedule played. I mean, Liberty did not have a Power 5 opponent this year. 133rd in the country in strength of schedule played. There's 133 teams in the country that play FBS football. SMU's only 2 losses are going to be, both of them, on the road at Oklahoma and at TCU. And I understand TCU's not a bowl team this year, but going on the road to a Power 5, essentially you would be punishing SMU for going on the road and those Power 5 opponents by rewarding Liberty and having them
51, 5-yard penalty, second down.
You got a false start and having them in a New Year's Six bowl game. The American Conference Championship game has represented the Group of 5 the last, 6 years? I would make a very strong case in that room that this SMU team deserves to be in the group in the New Year's Six this season.
Second and long. Daniels will be lassoed by Despainey.
Charge timeout.
It'll be third down coming up. And a timeout call. Let's check in with Kevin Nagandi back in the studio.
Roy, the run for Georgia, 29 straight games, is over. Alabama and Nick Saban knocking off Georgia to win the SEC title. And by the way, now you've got Nick Saban 3-0 against Kirby Smart in SEC championships at Florida State. They've got the look, Boog.
No doubt, Jared Verse. And Florida State is a win away and a Michigan win, I think, from the SEC being left out.
Guys, we got some chaos coming tonight. Back to you.
I could not agree with Booger more. I think the SEC has a really strong possibility of getting left out of this college football playoff. I do not think you put Texas in over, or excuse me, you put Alabama in over Texas because of the head-to-head. So if Florida State wins, it's going to be Michigan, it's going to be Washington, it's going to be Florida State, because an undefeated Power 5 conference champion is not getting left out, and it's going to be Texas, and Greg Sankey is not going to be in the New Year's Six, or excuse me, in the college football playoff.
Begins there post Florida State. Now keep in mind, FSU in the ACC championship game could be without its backup quarterback, who's now the starter, in Tate Rodemaker against the Cardinals. So something to watch there with Jordan Travis out for the season. Jennings floats it down and incomplete. So on third and long, it now becomes fourth down. R.J. Maryland, the intended receiver, DJ Douglas in coverage. And let's see what Rhett Lashley wants to do on 4th and 16. I don't think it's cut quite as clearly as you guys do. That will be a conversation tomorrow for the playoff selection committee to try to determine head-to-head how much does it matter from 2.5 months ago. And clearly Alabama's a different team compared to what happened in Tuscaloosa against Texas. But how do you frame that up, given that Texas arguably has the worst loss of the year between Alabama and Texas, and that setback in Dallas to Oklahoma? Rodgers connects from downtown, a 45-yard field goal attempt. SMU extending its lead now to 26-14. T-Mac, what's your perspective here?
So I would have to argue that Alabama now has the best win of anybody in college football, being able to knock off the reigning back-to-back national champion in Georgia. Yes, the head-to-head matters, but it was early on in this season, and from my perspective, the College Football Playoff Committee has shown in years before that wins or losses that happen really early on in the season tend to matter less. So I'm holding on to the fact that Alabama now has the best win in all of college football this season.
It's a fair argument, and one that the only comeback is they played. And also, Texas's loss is in a rivalry game at a neutral site. So essentially, Alabama winning on a Hail Mary in their rivalry game gets excused, or at least looked more past than Oklahoma being on than Texas being on the wrong end of that. It wasn't a Hail Mary, but it was a late drive by Dylan Gabriel that wins that game in Dallas. I mean, head-to-head has to matter at the end of the day.
If you're an Alabama fan, bottom line, you're rooting for Louisville tonight to upend
Absolutely.
Florida
and then it
State.
solves everything.
And then Alabama and Texas both make the playoff potentially, with Michigan and Washington as well. Well, the drama certainly potentially begins there, and then it ends with this SMU Liberty conversation. As the Flames were undefeated out of Conference USA, we've learned in the past that undefeated Group of 5 conference champion typically makes the New Year's Six, but SMU's resume is going to be awfully hard to overlook. Coming up tonight on ESPN, it's the Legends of Basketball Las Vegas Invitational for men's college hoops. USC faces off against number 11 Gonzaga. That's at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Catch all the action on the app as well.
The other thing about this SMU team that when you're in the room, you're going to have to argue. The SMU team is more complete than Liberty. Top 15 in the country in both scoring offense and scoring defense. And we showed the graphic on the other teams that are there. I mean, this is clearly one of the best teams in the country, and I think clearly the best group of 5 team at this point.
Charles Woods bats down the pass intended for Brazel. It'll be second down. The times we've seen the Mustangs this year, the talent jumps off the screen.
It does.
The Power 5 transfers coming in, especially on defense. And this has been the best defense SMU has possessed in 4 decades, going back to the early 1980s. It was a focal point for this staff going into last offseason to be better in the secondary, better rushing the passer. And it's been all that and a lot more. Case in point, another sack. Isaiah Smith, 6 times tonight. Michael Pratt, in his final start at Ullman, has been tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Sound like a broken record. Isaiah Smith against the tackle. Rashad Green, hands down. And he's able to get to the quarterback. It's great activity on the right side of your screen. Just knocking the hands down of the tackle, getting to Michael Pratt.
Pratt steps up on 3rd down. Penalty marker comes in near the goal line. Pratt slides into the 35, and let's see if this is a holding call against the Green Wave. And it is. Smith with 2.5 sacks by himself tonight, Roddy. We have called his name a bunch.
Holding, offense, number 61. Half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
This is a defense that got heavily slighted when it came to the all-conference nominations.
Please
the all-conference.
The game clock to 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
The all-conference teams in the American. Their sole first-team all-conference player was Elijah Chapman in the middle, which was an absolute shame. It's a defense that has been tremendous all year long. They've held Tulane to 188 yards, and they used it as motivation. Scott Simons talked to them about it all week, and they have played with their hair on fire today.
Crossing route, Brazel stopped well short of the line to gain by McGill. It'll be 4th down, and Tulane down to one last prayer. When the SMU fans that have made the trip over from Dallas have been loud and proud tonight in the Big Easy.
Watch the pass rush to your bottom of your screen.
Pratt searching for someone. Crosses body. Bauman has it. That's enough for a 1st down. So on 4th and 16, Tulane picks up 20, and that'll move the chains.
They ended up chipping Isaiah Smith. Finally, they got the tackle some help. Gave Michael Pratt some time.
Clayton Johnson. SMU more than happy to let that clock run. It'll stop briefly on the 1st down, under 2 minutes to go in the game. Walker and Wilson stop Clayton Johnson after a gain of 11. Green Wave need a quick touchdown and an onside kick, and perhaps more help than that. It's incomplete. Ahmad Walker caught it for a moment and then lost control.
And he landed right on top of the football. It could not have felt good.
That hurts. The wind comes out quickly.
It hurts your pride because you dropped the pass. Then you land on top of the football for good measure. The wind comes out. Now your pride is hurt. Your belly's hurt. It's one of those, I'm just going to lay here a while.
Roddy, during that exchange, I heard from several head coaches, former coaches, and assistant coaches who all side with you. Head-to-head matters.
Has to matter. It has to matter. If it doesn't matter, then why are we playing the games, you know? And Alabama took on Texas in the non-conference, it's a testament to Alabama for doing that. Unfortunately, they did it in a year where they're being compared directly against the team that they played and got beat by in Tuscaloosa by double digits. Ultimately, the games on the field have to be the biggest part of the evaluation as you go on. If it's not, what are we doing? Just have the power rankings figure out who's going.
Yeah, this will be the conversation tomorrow, especially if Florida State is able to hold serve in the ACC championship game tonight, maybe without Tate Rodemaker as its starting quarterback. That certainly will be something to watch coming up at 8 Eastern from Charlotte. If Florida State were to fall, then Alabama and Texas, you feel like, have that golden opportunity to both reach the playoff, and then who knows, maybe a rematch from what we saw in Tuscaloosa way back in week 2.
Be a heck of a playoff. We're getting to the point where you can get excited about the matchups that we'll see in the playoff. It's going to be phenomenal. We haven't had a top 5 upset yet this year until that Georgia game being upset by Alabama. So what else is to come? Alabama's playing really well. If they get in, they would be a deserving participant, but not at the expense of the Texas Longhorns.
Steve Sarkisian on line 1, ecstatic with that commentary. Let's see what happens tonight in Charlotte. Pratt nearly intercepted again. It'll be 3rd and 10. McGill got a hand on it, looking for Chris Carter. SMU dominant tonight here at Yulman Stadium. Green Wave just 1 of 13 on 3rd down. The other thing to consider coming out of this game, there are rumors out there that there's a lot of teams interested in talking to Willie Fritz, the head coach for the Green Wave. 8 years, a phenomenal run. Michael Pratt included in that mix. Bohannon charge ahead for a 1st down. Houston has not named a new head coach since parting ways with Dana Holgorsen more than 1 week ago. Willie Fritz was rumored to be involved in that coaching search along with Jeff Traylor at UTSA. Traylor's regular season came to a close a week ago. No announcement from Houston. Hard to know what's going to happen, and we did ask Coach Fritz about it yesterday. And he said, look, there's a lot of things that have been written that are out there that are not true. In the same breath, there's no confirmation beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm coming back to be the head coach here. So perhaps some things to be decided for a coach that has meant everything to this Green Wave program in this incredible run of the last 2 seasons.
And a guy who took them to heights that they hadn't seen in a long, long time. No matter what happens going forward, Willie Fritz has left a legacy here at Tulane, and his team was a worthy champion.
Pratt down to Brown. He pops out of the 2. And hold on just 1 moment, 48 seconds to go. Green Wave need a quick score and an onside kick to have an opportunity. Trailing by just 12, that's a gain of 25. Mekhi Hughes back on the field. And on 1st down and goal, Pratt delivers a pass incomplete, trying to spot Brown open for a moment.
Last catch by Yulkeith Brown was a really nice one. It's a good delivery. Honestly, SMU's fortunate it doesn't go for a touchdown. And that would have made it really interesting. This goal line stand could be huge for SMU. I mean, if I'm Tulane, I think you're targeting your tight end, Alex Ballman, or Chris Brazzell, both of them to the bottom of the screen to the near side.
Tulane out of timeouts. Not going to run it under these circumstances. Pratt is going to be sacked again, all the way back at the 12-yard line.
Can't have that.
7th time tonight the SMU defense has come up with a sack.
They got to hurry back to the line. Clock's running. They don't have any timeouts.
Kilgore and Roberts combine to bring down Michael Pratt. SMU calls a timeout.
Yeah, I don't think he liked the alignment, but Michael Pratt landed on his shoulder. So SMU probably bailed Michael Pratt out from having to play a snap immediately after getting driven to the ground on that throwing shoulder. I don't know if he'd have been able to throw the ball. I mean, he's going to come and take some warm-up tosses off to the side. Gets driven down on that right shoulder. It's such a dangerous play for a quarterback. You're worried about a sprain, worried about a collarbone, and he is pretty weakly throwing the football. You can see him wincing in pain.
Well, again, his toughness never questioned here. This incredible 2-year run. That'll be the 4th sack of the season for the freshman from Katy, Texas, Alexander Kilgore. And 3rd down and 13 coming up, only 18 seconds remaining. SMU ready to end this as quickly as possible and await their fate tomorrow from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee.
I still have questions about Michael Pratt's ability to throw the football. That looked like one of those where you take 2 tosses and it's like, I can do it, but it hurts so bad that I don't want to do it anymore until I have to.
Third down and goal from the 13-yard line. Pratt under pressure again. It'll be 4th and goal. And one last gasp coming for the Green Wave.
This is one of those games where Michael Pratt's going to need a hug and an ice bath after the game because, man, they have gotten after him, constantly driving him into the ground. You mentioned the toughness that has been on full display because this SMU defense, which has been phenomenal all year long, came in 4th in the country in sacks. 7 more tonight. It's absolutely made Michael Pratt's night a painful one.
Yeah, statement being made by this defense, by defensive coordinator Scott Simons, by SMU's program overall. On 4th and goal, Bauman dropped it right at the goal line, and that'll just about do it. Rhett Lashley with his freshman quarterback, Kevin Jennings, finding a way tonight. And on 4th down, this defense rock solid as they've been the entire game.
Incompletion seals it, but SMU deserved to win this game. They have been the better team really from the 2nd play of the game on. It has been a tremendous effort by this team, a tremendous effort by Rhett Lashley. There was a lot of people that were frustrated when Sonny Dykes left, but Rhett Lashley takes them back to a championship.
For the first time since 1984, they're dancing in Dallas. SMU Conference champions of the American. Taylor McGregor has Rhett Lashley on the field. T-Mac.
I think we have to ask first, Coach, how did the Gator that feel?
It's cold, and it's amazing.
For the first time in program history, you guys are winners of the American Conference. Why was this the group to do it?
They're an uncommon team. It's hard in this day and age. I've lost my voice. It's hard in this day and age to have a true team, and they did it for 12 straight weeks. We love the American. It's been great to us, and really thankful we could go out winning it.
When did you realize that your defense would be the type of special that we saw on display all night here tonight?
Spring ball had a good idea, but when we got fall camp, and for so many years our offense has dominated in practice, and it was back and forth. And we couldn't pass protect our D-line, and we couldn't beat our corners one-on-one, and we knew we had something different.
What does it say about this offense in general that they could do what they did tonight with a backup quarterback in Kevin Jennings?
Team ball. Kevin Jennings is a stud. He balled out. We ran the ball for almost 200 yards. But, man, if winning a conference title with your backup quarterback doesn't scream team, I don't know what else does.
What went through your mind when that clock hit 0?
You know, a lot of emotion. I'm really happy for these guys because they bought into what we're preaching. And nobody does that anymore with NIL and transfer and all that. It's all about me, and it was not. It was about us and we, and they're uncommon. And then I thought about thousands of SMU fans who's waited about 40 years for this day.
Enjoy the moment, Coach. Thank you. Roy?
That is very well said from Rhett Lashley. Only his 2nd season and the 2nd go-around in a stint at SMU, and he understands what it takes. He understands what it has taken to build the program back to have a chance not only to win this league championship, but in the ACC next year. The Mustangs will be well positioned, you have to think, on multiple levels, at least to be very competitive making that transition.
is absolutely tremendous by this team, by Rhett Lashley, by this university for the investment that they've shown to getting back to the pinnacle of college football. This has been the best team in the American really since conference play started. And they wanted Tulane. They wanted to be here because of the way that game played out last year. It's a hard way for the Tulane Green Wave to go out, but they lost to a deserving champion because SMU was phenomenal tonight.
9 straight wins. Mustangs now are 11-2. And keep this in mind, it wasn't Preston Stone, it was Kevin Jennings. His first career start, maybe 2 mistakes, perhaps just 1. He was electric and he was calm under pressure.
He really was. Scrambled to throw a lot, ran for yardage when he had to. But I think overall, his ability to handle the emotions of the game. First play of the game is a strip sack where Tulane gets the ball on the 1-yard line, dives in for a score, throws 2 interceptions in the first half, and he still comes back for more. Delivers throws, was courageous, was electric, was phenomenal, and man, he showed the heart of a champion. So he was able to lead this team and this offense to a conference championship.
63 yards on the ground. That was critical. And now let the conversation begin. Headed towards tomorrow morning, the College Football Playoff Selection Committee convenes one final time in Grapevine, Texas. The resume comparison between undefeated Liberty, Conference USA champions. It's a big deal to run the table, but you look down at the bottom and the strength of schedule comes into play. SMU clearly played a tougher schedule. The FPI indicates SMU the better team, but 2 losses as well. One to Oklahoma back in September, the other to TCU. Champion of the American has made the New Year's 6 bowl game 6 straight years. It'll be something to watch tomorrow. Roddy, you're favoring SMU right now. I think I would agree, but I think it's far from a lock what the committee's going to do tomorrow morning.
And look, the committee looks at more than just those things on the screen. Strength of schedule for Liberty, 133rd in the country. I'll remind you, there's 133 teams, but strength of record for Liberty, going undefeated, is at 14. The strength of record for SMU at 25. How much does that play into it? Despite the strength of schedule, you were able to run the table. I would give my vote to SMU because you'd essentially be punishing them for going on the road to 2 Power 5 schools. One Power 5 school in Oklahoma that had a tremendous season, both of which they played close. But if you go with Liberty, I mean, you can't argue with undefeated. So I wouldn't stomp my feet too much.
The committee likes to look at conference championships. Liberty and SMU will check that box. When you start to look at who had the most impressive win of the season, it will be SMU defeating top 25 Tulane tonight.
Very true.
And that is one massive check mark in favor of the Mustangs. All points to consider and not the only points to think about when we try to figure out who is the group of 5 representative into the New Year's 6.
The committee's going to have to earn their dinner on this one, especially if FSU wins tonight between Alabama and Texas, between SMU and Liberty. I'll be fascinated to see what they come up with. But no matter what for SMU, New Year's 6 or not, it's been an incredible, incredible season for the Mustangs getting back to a championship.
Final game in the American Conference yields a conference championship for the SMU Mustangs. The last time they won a title, the old Southwest Conference, as we mentioned back in 1984. And for Tulane, nothing to hang your head about considering the incredible career of Michael Pratt. The Cotton Bowl comeback for the ages a year ago against SC and falling just short in the following campaign.
Nothing to hang your head about at all. I mean, 2 losses this year to 2 very good teams, 2 top 25 teams in in Ole Miss and now SMU. But SMU with the big statement tonight.
Let's go down to the field. Our trophy presentation, Taylor McGregor with Commissioner Mike Oresco.
Well, now the real fun starts. Congratulations to SMU, winners of the American Conference. Can everybody hear us?
Can't hear, right? No, nobody can hear. Is there shouldn't this be hooked up to the intercom?
I think we're trying to get it hooked up to this stadium here. I believe everybody at home can hear us.
Yeah, Taylor, this has got to be hooked up to the internet.
Yep, we're trying to get that figured out. Roy, why don't I send it back to you while we get this figured out real quick?
We'll get it corrected. Mike Oresco correctly identifying the situation.
Mike Oresco's all over it.
He is, which is what you would expect. I mean, listen, this game next year could be for a playoff spot. He's been one of the reasons why that will be the case. Smashing the table for all of these years, making sure that this league and other Group of 5 conferences have been well represented.
It's a great point by you. In a 12-team playoff scenario, the highest rated Group of 5 team is likely going to get in because it's the 5 highest rated conference champions. So I think we've got it working now, Roy.
T-Mac, take it away.
I love when that happens. Technology. I mean, this is when the real fun starts here. Congratulations to SMU. For the first time ever in the American Conference, they are winners of the conference. Big night. Rhett Lashley, in his second year with the program, helped the Mustangs become conference champions. And Mike Oresco, the commissioner of the American Conference, is with us. You get to do the honors of presenting the trophy.
I am, thank you. First, though, I want to congratulate Willie Fritz and the Tulane Green Wave on a great season, also on a great magical 2 years. Congratulations. And now, I not only want to congratulate Rhett Lashley and the SMU Mustangs on an absolutely dominating great performance and the American Athletic Conference Championship, and this team deserves to be in the New Year's Six.
Coach, time now to hold up the trophy. Raise it.
So you'll break it.
Coach, in just your second year in this program, you take them to be American Conference champions. What did it take collectively as a group to get here?
It took a true team. It took uncommon kids, uncommon coaches, and an uncommon fan base. And they all deserve it.
Thank you so much for the time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll get to Isaiah Wacobia in just a minute. But what a night here for SMU, winners of the American Conference Championship, champion for the first time.
(26-14), the final score. And what a scene here in New Orleans for the first time since 1984. The Mustangs of SMU win a conference championship. For Roddy Jones, Taylor McGregor, I'm Roy Philpott saying good night from the Big Easy. Let's get you back to the studio, Kevin Nagandi and Booger.